And we are live. What is going on, YouTube? And welcome to OnlyCops. It is the Tuesday stream where we do police adjacent stuff. I'm riding two-man with producer Juan. He's going to keep us, hopefully, on the right side of the internet law to make sure that I don't go off the reservation. Although he's becoming slowly the frequent offender of things. I got to skim real quick to see. Mason J was indeed first. I can confirm that. He was first like 4 hours ago too. Let's see. I'm only at -10 so far because I made it on time. Let's see. I don't think anyone else complained. We're only losing 10 points today, boys and girls. Let's go. I will keep my goal at 110 for 75 points. If we get that in likes, again, here for the uninitiated, we do both body cam breakdowns and then like police adjacent content breakdowns. For those of you that are probably finding us, you've seen us on Officers React, where we look at movies, film, television. I guess movies and film are the same thing. And like cartoons and stuff like that. Just to kind of demystify a lot of the kind of weird tropes that they've made around law enforcement. And movies are like this about everything. Like I'll go watch a movie about like, I don't know, being a Hispanic millennial in America, and like they get it completely wrong. Like it's kind of like that. You ever see yourself? I never feel seen when I see cops. I always just feel like it's like an AI chat bot.
It's only accurate if you're located in Los Angeles.
Right. And then in that case, it probably is pretty legit. So, but anyways, we keep score here. Current running totals. Shout out to Municipals for being positive. I'm a little biased. That was my history in law enforcement. But there is hope yet. We aren't in the negative, like triple digits yet, like we are with feds and with admin. So, but anyways, we're keeping a live running total for score. Anytime we see bad conduct or something like that from law enforcement or from any of these categories, we take points. If we see good content or conduct, we give points. And I'm going to say my hellos. You can skip forward once you see me get off of this scorecard, and that's when we'll get to the videos. Mason J, who is first. Christy C, who is first mod. Mando Merc was indeed second, and Rhett was third. Also, welcome, Rhett, to being a second responder here in the comment section and a member of our YouTube. Phoner, I hope you're feeling better, my brother. We will see if there's any ladies for you to save. Lapete. Also, Rhett congratulated us. We did just crest 19,000 subscribers here. Juan, losing points for media right off the rip.
Why? Trying to keep this channel afloat.
For context. Actually saw, speaking of content.
I thought you meant because of my cup. Oh yeah, no.
No, for context. It's for the comment. Okay. The comment you earned. No.
Oh yeah, I definitely earned
the
that
cup
one.
Is top 10. That's top tier.
Trying to make sure y'all get context.
You know what? Actually, for the cup, I'll give the 5 points back for the cup. That's true. That's fair.
Oh, and I'm wearing the hoodie too.
Producer Juan did crack the whip, and he got Bill and I to sit down. We did our second episode of On Call, and I'm getting excited. I genuinely am excited about that show because I feel like both creatively they're keeping it interesting. I think that the Rookie does do entertaining very well, albeit like crazy unrealistic. Like it's almost like an urban fantasy. Like that's how far away from reality the Rookie gets at times.
It's like cop fan fiction.
Literally, yeah. But the On Call has been, I don't want to just say realistic. It's just been very relatable for someone who's been a municipal cop in a pretty big city. And they try to keep it very grounded, which makes it compelling because your suspension of disbelief stays elevated. And the story is still a rather extraordinary set of circumstances for law enforcement. This is going to be a pretty rare set of circumstances, but are ones that still happen every day. So shout out to them for that. Jordan is here. Brave Django. He calls himself Josh World. Custodes, Garrett, Little Duck, Peacekeeper Chris, welcome. Zacky Boy, Notorious Emu, Fajita Sarita, Sarah still trying to make weird names for me to have to read, Robert Carson, Brian Miner, Shashank, one of these. And I keep wanting to say Kurudugi on the back of there just because that's what my brain fills in.
Kurudugi.
The Dan Hammer is indeed in the building. Sam, I will be getting hydrated. I've done my hydration packet today, but I probably need more water after my row. Ivana, it is good to see you once again. Kubi, Step Dan, as I call him, or the Dannenheimer, as he's currently here. Elizabeth, welcome, Elizabeth. Your name seems new to me. Tyler Stevens, my boy, the Mighty Dork. Am I caught up to the bottom? I believe I am. Pat B. Howie? Was that a Bobcat phone? Well, welcome. It's sussy that you have two different logins. He's trying to keep his algorithm clean. Buxom Badger, Mason M. Dylan. I think I said hi to everybody. I feel like I did. It skips sometimes for me. Dakota Bailey. And yeah. I'm caught up. Then I got locked in the back of the shop, but neither were fired or disciplined. And Abby, what is going on? I saw something about after party. If we have one, it's going to be a relatively short one. I have to get up super early in the morning, unfortunately. Millennial is here, my dog. And Savory Salmon. If I missed you, continue to harass me in the comment section. I will eventually see you and acknowledge that you're here. Because I love you. If we do get to 110 likes, I will give chat 75 points. What is this? What did we say? Fire Raptor? Is that what we decided that was? One, help me, you who can read.
For it looks like Fire Raptor. Foray
Raptor? Something like
Foray Raptor.
Mr. Hamilton.
Ferrer Apter.
Ryan Magel. Abs, he said missed me. I'll see it eventually. Little Duck is saying hi to me again. I think I said hi to everybody. Yes. Anyways, we're going to keep going. 110 likes. And then if you really want to get involved, you can either become a member of our YouTube thing. Obviously, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Or you can become part of our Patreon group. Ferrero Rocher Raptor. That sounds kind of delicious, to be honest.
Yeah, dude. Imagine.
I would get after that.
There's a shop around here where they do like custom. They do like the little chocolate, the fancy chocolates, but they also have like a cowboy boot and like
something fun.
Yeah, like fancy stuff like treasure chests and stuff. They're all made out of chocolate. It's pretty. You can see a raptor.
Emu, if you weren't a mod, I'd give you a timeout just for that. Jesus, have you heard of Fraud on Call? Also, Mr. Toastar, it's good to see you. For everybody that got to vote, we have 83 votes on should we get rid of bite dogs?
Hey, Emu, do you know why Tim's a TO again?
I would mute you, but I can't. 20.
I was really confused about that.
It was a very close tie on yes or no whether or not we should get rid of bite dogs, and I left this choice because I had faith in chat, and faith was restored. They said no, but a change in policy on deployment, I think, is the right answer, to be honest.
That's right. They should only be biting treats
basically.
And toys.
I think it should be like very similar to the way that we do like one person entry into, like, if single man entry into an active situation only happens under exigent circumstances, or if I feel pretty good that I'm able to do it safely. That's still a determination somebody has to make. Mistakes can and will get made, but they shouldn't be knowingly sending a dog into an armed threat area or against somebody that's armed. The other portion of that should be, if deadly force is not going to be authorized, a bite's really close to that. Bites are pretty bad. And if they can't quickly get a dog off of someone once they've complied, I think that it should be considered like an exaggerated use of force, basically. They're slowly destroying somebody's leg or arm or whatever. that should be a requirement for the dog, that it can be quickly recalled from the bite, both for the safety of the dog, but then also for the detainee. Bite cops, not bite dogs. I could be a bite cop. I got a big mouth. Let it be sussy. It's fine. Code Blue Cam says, the instant moment of regret. This doesn't seem too terribly clickbait.
Yeah, I did like a quick skim. It didn't seem super spicy. It just seems like a
June of January 15, 2025, while conducting a routine patrol, an officer
stream to do the duplicate on for creating this one. I got confused and I made a Thursday thumbnail. So here we are.
Here we are. Here we are.
We get to watch Bodycam on a Tuesday. Special treat for everyone.
This is a weird take on a decal. I've never seen this, like it bleeds into the bottom.
Mm-hmm. This is a thing that I would have done like a few years back and thought, oh, hell yeah, it's going to be
really cool, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is such a clever, cool idea. It's like it's bleeding out of the bottom.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of I think it was Need for Speed. You could do like really weird paint jobs on your cars. Mm-hmm. This was like a Need for Speed skin that didn't make it.
Like it's like one of the pre-made ones that you get in a video game.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've got to attack of dogs.
The always going forward American flag I can bless, but there's some weird stuff going on with this decal.
Officer witnessed a vehicle commit a traffic violation directly in front of him in the village of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. The driver was identified as 24-year-old Desmond Balatinets, accompanied by his 26-year-old passenger, Lawrence Critton.
No, go back a teensy bit.
How much more? Like a
just enough to where you can see the name. I want you to see if you can read this.
Okay, Desmond.
It's not even done yet.
24-year-old.
Oh, okay. Hold on, Desmond. But hold on, Does he say it?
Desmond Balatinets.
Balatinets. Oh, I wouldn't have gotten that. Yeah, that was. Hey, shout out to the narrator though.
Mm-hmm.
He probably had to look that up, but shout out to him.
Accompanied by his 26-year-old
Lawrence.
This one feels easier.
Crittenden Quinn?
Yeah, that's probably
passenger, right. Lawrence Crittenden Quinn.
Crittenden.
That's an accent thing. I feel like I'm good.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. This kind of sounds like a Bridgerton name, though. Mm-hmm. Like this guy could have been a
Peel skit.
Yeah. Oh,
of the football players.
No.
Both from the Chicago area. However, it soon came to light that one of them also had an outstanding warrant out of Illinois for robbery.
Ballenstein's common spelling. Buxom Badger is going to trigger somebody.
That's the guy that Blake Lively's fighting with, right?
That's incredible.
Valentin are nice.
Robert gave me an A for effort.
The officer attempted to initiate a traffic stop, but it appeared Desmond had other intentions.
Just the American soy sauce.
1080 passing, 116th on Spring Road speed.
You'll switch it.
No traffic, dry roads.
Good radio traffic. Bro, for a snowy road, dude, shout out to this place. Pleasant, whatever.
Wisconsin, man.
Wisconsin out here ain't playing games with clearing the roads. This is nice.
So they're coming up to Green Bay Road, going southbound Green Bay.
Valentine.
And the wrong way. Wrong way on Green Bay.
Millennials de la Policia. I can respect that. So Alex.
I need a reason for the stop. I'm not sure if you're trying to go here.
Reason for the stop is the plates are on the wrong vehicle.
Alex, when I was still in the streets, I was a little better at it. I've clearly fallen out of practice.
Good practice.
Coming up to Illinois right now.
The officer ultimately terminated the pursuit, losing sight of the vehicle as it continued to illegally pass other cars while crossing into Illinois.
70, I'll be terminating. Continuing southbound. Driver's a male black. Lanes 30s. I'm just continuing on south to 173, and then I'll turn around just to make sure it doesn't crack.
Give me kids at church. 123rd.
Looked like the vehicle was still passing other cars in the center area.
Still morning.
There's actually no lane.
Yeah, these side roads are
south past.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing maintenance.
31.
Because if they weren't, you would be able to
But almost 2 hours later, the two decided to come back through the area. While the police were clearing a 3-vehicle crash at an intersection, they received a flock hit on the suspect vehicle that had fled earlier.
Flock.
The vehicle was soon...
I was having a discussion with somebody about flock recently, and I was like, dude, for municipal like cops, bro, talk about a life like a godsend on just being able to keep track of, like, once I have an
Your social score, yeah.
No, not like that. Like, once you have an involved vehicle, at the very least it can ping you if it shows back up. I buy that. Or like a wanted vehicle or something like that. But like everything else is kind of sussy. Get flocked.
Located and another pursuit ensued.
R.I.P. Luca. But for real though, I'm glad I don't watch.
Sarah reminded me of basketball.
All right, it's coming northbound, but with your guys' accident, I'm gonna try not to pursue it too far here.
Officers ahead were notified of the incoming pursuit, and they quickly cleared the roadway to avoid any hazards from the approaching suspect vehicle.
It's coming up to you guys. Heads up, heads
Shout
up.
out to them.
Robert, it's good to see you, brother. You sure get flocked. It's kind of funny. It's pretty good, actually. Oh, he's doing this in an
Alright,
Elantra?
it's fleeing northbound.
Oh, no.
1080 with it. Speeds are 50. He's taking the ditch. I think he's gonna wipe out soon.
Oh, dude. Good luck with that.
Alright, I got through all the traffic. I'm behind it. I'm at 50 miles an hour. Now stopping
you.
because traffic doesn't know how to yield.
He said that on the radio. Stopping because traffic is
Salty.
I'll call it out. Coming up to 91st, still northbound.
City flagged up. We're gonna be going westbound 91. Westbound 91.
Traffic at this
Dog's
point.
calling for the pit. For real though.
Dog should be doing the radio traffic so this guy can
Signaling to
concentrate
go.
on
Can you imagine how annoying that would be
Northbound
to
22
trying to get
Ave.
radio traffic going? Like, I'll call it, dog. It's cool. Respect me.
I'll call it dog.
Doughboy chase.
Sheridan RD/126THS.
Passing cars just north of 89.
See, these roads are a little sketchier.
Speeds right now are about 80.
Traffic is
At
yielding.
least snow on this.
It's coming up to 85 on a red light.
The vehicle soon lost control while attempting to turn into a parking lot and crashed into a parked car.
What an idiot.
Turn into an apartment here. Crash.
Eastbound in the apartment complex.
Both suspects then ran for their lives until K9 Chase was set free.
We got 2 males running.
Rip.
You're gonna get bit. Chase, go, 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 go. Chase, still it, still it.
Oh, dude. He's like, I want dog.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Dog.
You better get on the ground. Get on the.
He did not want the smoke. There's a smart man right there. +5 for suspects, and then -5 for old boy that's about to get got here. I also like that was a really discerning dog. You could see that it was one running behind the officer and kind of looking, and the second it lasered in, and just boom, it took off and dusted the officer.
Put your hands behind your back.
That's a smart dog.
Stay around. Taser. Stay up. Stop.
He waited for the guy to open the gate. He's like, "Yo, dog, like it's a push gate, but I ain't got hands."
On your stomach. On your stomach. On your stomach.
What is this? Oh, Taser.
I got one detained.
So I got a question.
Do
So
not
go back,
fight.
Yeah.
Go back to when he's opening the gate, I guess.
Right here.
Ground. Get on the ground.
You better get on the ground. Get on the ground. Put your hands behind your back.
Because this kind of goes to the question here. So just go a tiny little bit more.
So we can actually see
Right.
it.
Yeah. Because more. Yeah, his hand needs to move. Move your hand, homie.
That Taser deployment.
Yeah.
There you go.
So right there, right? Okay, so this dude's now on the ground, right? In a second, he's going to be like Supermaning on the ground.
Right.
At that point, the dog bite seems excessive. This is where that delineation again.
Yeah.
Kind of, and I understand. Like, this is like how you gonna.
It's knee jerk. Right? This is very much like a bang bang play at first base, right? But I'm with you that like, why did he deploy the taser?
See,
and
my dog
agrees. And like, would you deploy a taser if someone's totally proned out on the guy?
Right.
Now, unless he's being resistant or whatever. And then once you sick the dog on this guy, right? Well, getting bit's really unpleasant. Same thing with getting tased. When somebody gets tased, they don't automatically go into a handcuffing position. They flinch to pain because pain's occurring, right? And in this instance, when a dog is trying to rip your leg off, you're like it's not like the dog uses a leverage-based technique to get your hand behind your back like an officer would. They just bite you. In this instance, from an apprehension standpoint, they still don't know if he's armed or not. And they still don't know how cooperative he's going to be. Now, the one officer literally went hands-on with a gun on this guy, which if you can handle up, I'm okay with. Like, because I'm not going to act like I've never apprehended somebody like that before. And again, he doesn't know if this guy's armed or not, and he's not about to go lose the quick draw situation while he goes hands-on. I'm okay with that. This dog acts as a second officer in this instance. It's just like, what's the reasonable expectation for this dog to help with apprehension? It's actually one of the better dog deployments I've seen, but I'm with you on that. There's definitely a discussion.
Yeah, because like, it makes me more annoyed with it because he's got the taser in his hand and he's like still putting away. Just like you now no longer you have no control of your dog.
Right.
You have no control of your taser deployment. You're kind of now half an officer instead of two officers.
I got one detained.
I'm on my stomach.
Do not fight. Stay right there.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with Millennial. Like, I don't mind the use of force as long as it can be quickly amended, if that makes any sense. Again, no issue with this guy holding a gun to this guy's face. That's a crazy high use of force. No issue with that. Same thing on the bang bang play on apprehension side of it, right? Like, as far as the dog deployment, for as long as he knows this guy is maybe struggling to get up as opposed to being fully compliant, right? We don't know. And it's so in the middle there. Like, if I was the supervisor, there's no write-up coming out of this. But I can understand, at least aesthetically, why they might have issues with it.
Dog is biting me.
I got a dog on somebody. I need help over here.
Tell the dog release, please.
Not till you start to cooperate. Stay still. Do not move. You understand me?
He's like cooperating here. And I'm with him. It's a bang
Get up.
play.
Your other guy's getting chewed up by the dog right now, so I need to get over there to help him.
Good boy, Chase.
Yeah, him holding the taser in his hand gave me,
chill out.
Flashbacks to that one officer that shot the dude
Down.
in his
Do not
bed
move.
because he had one hand on
You'll
the
get
dog
bit
and one hand on
again
his
in a
gun.
second. You understand me?
Right. Eventually, a woman exited the apartment complex and identified Desmond as her boyfriend, confirming that the vehicle he had been driving belonged to her.
Let's go.
Hey, son! Fool, I don't know, fool.
He got him in. He's got him with the dog.
Stay right there. He will bite you again.
Well, you know what? I would say this is an ideal dog deployment because the second he got compliance, he got the dog off him.
Yeah.
I would say this is the best dog deployment. But you know what? For Good Boys, of course, we're going to give him a solid 20 points. This is a textbook. This is what I would like to see out of a dog deployment. I'm going to give them... This is municipals. Let's fucking go. I'm going to say it's a really, really good dog deployment because this is kind of what I wanted to see. My fear was that this dog was about to munch on this guy for the next 5 minutes, which is what we tend to see.
That's what we saw last week. Yeah.
I think this is a really, really good application. If he got compliance, he's now using as an idle threat. He is by himself and he is responsible for this animal. Same way you would be for like your baton if you deployed it. Or your taser if you deployed it. I don't get to just chuck the thing unless I have a safe reason to do it. But this is a really good...
I need one on me.
You want me to put my arms behind my back?
You got to put your arms behind your back, cross your feet.
He's like, yeah, dog.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, call Disky them, fool. Hey,
Caked up.
call Daddy.
Code 4. We're going to get one detained guy, dog bite, roll rescue.
I got my phone.
He's cooperating. Get against the wall. Get against the wall. Watch his hand. He's reaching. He's reaching in his pocket. Don't.
Oh.
You stay there.
Is he not cuffed?
You reach in your pocket, dude.
On my kids, I don't got shit.
Okay, well, don't be reaching for...
He said, oh, my kids.
Go ahead, cuff him up.
I'll tell you what, this Letterman jacket totally saved him from getting really chewed up. The only thing I don't like is detective here, and I'm only calling him a detective because his badge is on his belt.
Watch his hand. He's reaching. He's reach in his pocket. Don't.
The idea that I'm gonna draw down on this handcuff guy while there's an officer going hands on. I'm not saying it. Again, knee-jerk reaction. I'm okay with it, but like, let's put some thought into this. Like he's straight up drawn down on these guys. Canine officer, 10 out of 10. I would hire that guy tomorrow. If anything, I'm probably giving him a commendation for the apprehension. Did a very good job of demonstrating control over the animal. The animal did a great job of getting the right person, not getting itself hurt or that guy hurt. But we're gonna do some training or just a conversation about like, hey, I'm not gonna write you up, but like, maybe don't point guns at my officers, okay? Please, don't shoot from the back of the bus. Help or don't.
Stay there.
He's getting like super close to the wall.
Put him up.
We don't do that. Great.
Yeah, you're gonna get checked out.
Hey, at least he's here.
Dog.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, 1 second, bro. Hold on. One thing at a time, bro. You decide to run. That's what happens. I don't give a shit. Dude, you don't run from the police.
Her car right there. She need her house.
Just relax, dude. Hey, just relax. You want to help him up, Kevin? We'll get you up, bro.
I was trying to get her interview.
Yeah, okay.
Taser holsters in like the worst spot.
Good boy, Chase.
I'll get his head. I'll get his head. You let him go first?
No, I'll follow you. You're good. Hey, man, we'll be with you in just 1 second.
Where's your car?
I'm behind here.
We haven't shook him yet.
Okay.
That's my car.
We'll get you in a second, okay?
Was.
Who is this? Is your boyfriend?
Yeah, that's my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's my car.
Gloves. Who's cold?
He saw that dog come out and wanted. First name.
Huh?
First
No
name.
smoke.
Car.
Who do I like? Cops.
No, it's hesitant.
I think that was
the driver for mine.
That's so.
As a result, Desmond, the driver, was charged with felony counts of vehicle fleeing eluding an officer, ×2. Second-degree recklessly endangering safety,
captain?
×2. Misdemeanor counts of resisting
chat.
obstructing an officer, and possession of THC.
No, the dude that pointed the gun at
Lawrence,
the...
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, okay.
what a chat.
So he can't write himself up. So he's
I was
fine.
gonna say he's absolved.
He's creating policy right there. This is fine. We do this here now.
The second count of eluding in a vehicle, I feel like that would be one continuance. Like they fled, got away, they saw him again and fled. I don't know what the second one. They're probably just going to consolidate that into one charge. It's in the same day. It's probably spread by like an hour or two. Like I don't know that I'm hitting them with two, but you could maybe do the recklessly. I think both of these are going to be one count, but then the resisting, they ran after they crashed, and then the possession of THC is going to get you.
Passenger was only charged with misdemeanor resisting obstructing an officer.
They cut him
Ultimately,
loose.
Desmond was given a cash bond of
Was he the one that had the
$10,000,
warrant
while
on him?
Lawrence's bond.
I know one of them
this
had a
was
warrant.
the guy that got the canine deployment was the
okay.
one that had.
Oh,
the
then yeah,
warrant.
let the other guy go.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Let the other.
He didn't
guy,
do nothing.
He cooperated, do the use of force.
He was
like, hey,
kidnapped, as far as you know.
that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he wasn't involved because it's the high likelihood he just can't prove it. So if you can't prove it, let him go. Like cut him loose. I would have cut
my
that.
boy.
I would have cut that loose. That dude loose to scene probably.
Was set at $750. Want a deeper look into the channel?
Okay, I'm not mad about that. That was good. We're just gonna take some points from admin for pointing guns at their own guys.
Is it a federal crime since he crossed state boundaries? Did he cross state boundaries?
He did, but no. The feds really aren't going to care about that. Because it's typically interstate commerce, or if the crime occurs in multiple states, Illinois would have to say and charge him with fleeing and eluding or whatever.
That's why he got the 2 charges for fleeing, because one of them happened in one state and the other in the other state.
Maybe. They said it was a 2 hour, even with a 2 hour gap. So the reason why I say this is like we would have like serial break-ins. So you'd have somebody that would just go to all of our hotels, not to give anybody ideas, but they would go and break into a bunch of cars all in one night. And victim 1 and victim 20, there might be like a 5 hour gap, but we just tied all of those reports together. Now, these were different victims, so we had to give different charges for them, but it was considered all in one. It was all one big report number that we put like a string of different victims in, different victims, different locations, but it was all in the same like single act, if that makes any sense. That's the only reason why I say that. He traveled into the mouth of a dog. But that was good. I'm okay with that. Daniel Kavanaugh. They said 2 hours. Guy pulled over today. As I passed the notice, the third brake light's still on. That's a clue. Yes. That's incredible. Brave Django. We're learning today, baby. He said, hold on.
We teach things.
He said, hold on. Why is that brake light still on? That's a clue. We're learning, boys and girls. Does that count as organized crime? No. They would have to have tied it to...
You should have rolled your window down and been like, he's got his brake light on.
He's got his brake light on. Dear Miss Sack, I have a fleeing charge. Y'all are the worst. We have like a 2-man cam here. This is how tight patrol cars are. You're like shoulder to shoulder. This is not a lot of room for.
4-2. Gonna be 10-100. Still on Springville Road. He's losing it now.
Bro, I think my dog heard the barking. He's been like growling and just making all this noise over here.
Stop!
They're bearing the lead here.
You know, we chase over. We're coming up on 7 years now. I've been
got a
trustful
GoPro
for almost 3.
Why do they have GoPros?
Well, their badges are just stick-ons, so.
Is this a DJI mic?
Yep. Yeah, but that's for the show, right?
Is this a show? Oh, on
like
patrol. Yeah.
Are we gonna get copyright kicked for this?
Maybe.
Maybe we'll push this into the end of the episode.
Okay, we'll push it. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, I guess it's Trustville Police Department. Okay, so this is the police department doing it themselves.
Yeah, department's evidence technicians in the forensic unit. So I could go out
so they're probably doing the GoPro instead of the body
criminal
cam
investigations division.
The body cam requires
with
paperwork.
their scenes, bigger scenes, such as burglaries, things like that. I'm also the department's first piper in the honor guard. So I play the Great Highland Bagpipes is the official term for the instrument. But I'm tasked with performing at funerals, memorials, things such as that for fallen officers.
I
also pipe with the Alabama Law Enforcement Memorial Pipes and Drums. Check out, give them a like. But we go all...
No audio. Or is there audio?
I don't hear it.
Okay.
I'll make the approach if you want to let take off.
That's up to you.
4-2. He stopped on stone.
But you've also got a sticker on there that makes it look like it's not.
Let's go. GoPro is nice though, compared to most body cams.
Your aunt? Uncle. Okay. Have you got your driver's license prevention?
I do not like how low profile is going. I like the market.
Hey, dude. Put your hands behind your back. Put your paperwork down.
Just relax.
Behind your back.
We'll explain everything in just a second, okay?
Oh.
This is from where you bought it?
See the R?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know what that means, but...
Thought it was
now, is it a scat or is it a Hellcat? It is?
Too screwed.
I mean, these come off just as quickly as they go on, okay? But you have a warrant for your arrest in St. Clair County.
All right.
Yeah, ticket.
Oh, he's got a warrant.
It's a ticket you did.
Back in Ohio, like I said.
Ticket.
It was actually expired.
Wow. Dirtbags.
Paula's running.
I have to start giving them info, otherwise you're going to cancel.
4-2, traffic, light, passing pine tree, speed 25.
The paid out.
But they, with this perspective, is pretty realistic though. Like,
speed.
although I would be looking up, if I was the second officer, I'd be looking at the return to try to figure out if there was a address attached to it,
Monterey
whether
Drive.
or not I thought they were driving to that address, because then I have to just say, hey, can you head us off at the house?
No turn signal, felony attempting to elude.
Also tied
saw
to
us, he
potential like
kind of sped up, took off.
other reports. We'll have these rerun plates every single time.
Menlo Lane.
We go
Turning
to
right
West
on
End.
Menlo Lane.
And oftentimes you'll get like your resident.
Left on El Dorado.
Turning left on El Dorado. Traffic light.
But he's also getting the radio.
Coming up on Springville.
Passengers are there. not being a passenger princess. They do not have a pit policy. Or their, should I say their pit policy is not.
We got it.
They're not. No,
They're just keeping eyes on it.
I mean, they're going fast because, like, if you look at the window here, you can see how much they're like driving. But it's not like a
passive twin.
That looks normal speed to me.
They're probably doing like a 30, which is still sketch. But
just past Taylor.
these roads look way nicer than I think we have.
Oh yeah.
Still Spring Road. He's losing it now.
Maintain.
He actually regained it,
Almost
passing Spring Lake Circle. Turn right on Pine. Nope, never mind. He's gonna stay straight on Springville.
It is coming through more on the right than on the left. But I still hear something.
My right one is good.
Oh, maybe that's why we can't hear it.
Passing Brewster Road, still on Springville.
I'm glad y'all can hear it.
Oh yeah, no, it is only on the right. Okay. It just echoes in my brain, I guess.
Yep. Taking a left on Polly Reed Road northeast. Left on Polly Reed Road northeast.
Notify County and so
Yeah, no kidding.
You would go ahead and notify
The
County.
cat's got a hold of the wire for this one, so I messed up.
Just a lot of siren sounds. And this guy mumbling into the microphone.
Passing Kim Drive, still on Polly Reed.
I'll take my
Right on Mary Van
I think he's
Lane.
doing a pretty decent job. Bro, just block him in.
There'd be so many balls.
He's just going through the parking lot.
But fun.
I guess. They're getting T-boned.
I think they're about to bail.
Sounds fun to me. Now, this being in a parking lot does escalate things a bit. Pedestrians.
Trying to get to the interstate, I think.
Nervous about hitting somebody. Again, their policy is likely not to hit, but still.
Speed buddy, 40. We're going to be on. Jumping road.
Hey, Steve, it looks like they're looking for a place to drop this passenger.
Jumping road, passing Idlewood Road. Just how they're going to go to travel. Right north of the road.
Oh, apparently you can just buy a new cord for your headphones, Josh. Cheaper versions.
Somebody pit him? It's like an undercover? Like, that was kind of intense. Oh, somebody turning left. Bro. My wife got in an accident like this where she turned left in front of somebody. Get wrecked.
She was stopping a chase, John. Oh, he won.
Stop! I'm gonna tase you! I'm gonna tase you! Get on the ground! On the
That GoPro's not
ground
great for
now!
this.
On the ground!
Get on
Hands out
him.
to the side! Put your hands behind your back! Behind your back! Don't move! Don't move!
I'm in the passenger side.
I know where you're at. Shouldn't have ran.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. I wasn't the
Didn't
driver.
do nothing.
So,
Oh, well, that's case closed. He didn't do nothing.
and
Good,
I
my
will
boy.
say this. So there is some argument here to say, well, you were an involved person and then you fled on foot. Technically, you could say that he was part of the traffic stop, and when he fled, you know, that's an offense, like evading on foot or resisting, basically. But I'm with him that he's probably not picking up a charge. They can throw like a petty resisting on him or whatever, but I'd be more interested in the driver.
I wasn't the driver. I told him to stop.
There you go. See? He told him to stop.
Good suspect.
For right
You
now,
didn't
you're
even
gonna be
leave the
cuffs,
car,
okay?
dog.
We'll figure all that out.
Because you're not
Damn.
worried. That's how it works. Well, the minute you took off running when y'all crashed, you committed a crime.
What's
I didn't know what to do there.
up, dude?
Change you up.
Hey, I don't mind you filming, but you gotta get out of the scene, okay? You can go down past that driveway, please.
4-2 is on unit.
Shoot, I broke it, man.
Court.
He was the GoPro.
It's all broken.
Oh,
What jurisdiction is
Still
this?
recording though.
Birmingham.
no.
That was fun.
Hurt you.
Gotta get one of the little
hands, I got you.
Gloves.
So we did okay driving? Yeah. I'm like, bro, just stop. Yeah. No, they ain't letting up.
That was like a. I like how he still has Magellan tags on his clothes. There's nothing gangsta about Magellan, but that was also like a
wants his boys to know he's outdoorsy. Okay.
Yeah, that was also like a tourist magazine.
Yeah.
So we did okay driving?
Yeah. I'm like, bro, it's either that or he's planning evidence. I don't know, like,
no, they ain't letting up. You know we chase over here, right?
I ain't know that.
Oh, they were out making plays. Okay.
Oh, this makes more sense. Gloves. Sorry.
That's just Tom. They get heartburn.
How long is the report for this? It's actually not bad because the pursuit, you're going to have a report for that, right? You're going to have evading in a vehicle on the driver, which is going to give you the PC search for the whole car. And, man, outside of this exposure report for the no gloves, you had PC to search the car. Upon searching the car, you found... this is probably like a 2 or 3 pager tops. Like, it's really not that bad.
I wouldn't make it.
Okay, I get you weren't. You was just along for the ride of making plays. Oh yeah.
Good.
That's Fent.
Yeah. That's a
good thing.
Maybe
with your bare hands. Just go like this all over your face right after.
Sorry, I'm done. They have Narcan, I guess.
I'm gonna get roasted in the comments again for touching the drugs with my hands.
Roast them. Oh, also Apple Watch. What is it?
There you go. We've left our indelible. I wanted to give him 15, but the no gloves and Apple Watch, they're going to lose some points there. I'll give him 10. I'll tell you what, Municipals is out here showing up. I'm here for it, dog. Oh no. This is
I want to give, let's give like 2 to society for stopping the chase.
Oh, you know what? Yes.
They caused the pit, whether through negligence or inattentiveness or whatever.
I'm here for it. I'm also going to
pure happenstance.
I'm also going to give 5 points to admin for letting these 2 idiots go and GoPro their experience.
I do like that.
Half point for being self-aware. You know what?
You think they're like the only 2-man unit in the entire department because they're the ones with the GoPro?
Probably. I'll give him that. I'll give him a point for the self-awareness. At least they know. Can you upfit Tesla vehicles? I'm nervous about this already. No. Oh, look at this Tesla getting dusted.
I don't want to go back to this now.
I'd never driven one until today. I had a different mindset here at 2 o'clock. And at 6 a.m. this morning, I was not necessarily sold, but I am now.
Who need a Tesla commercial? Straight up.
I raise you an idle time question. How much idle time do you think you get on a Tesla? What does adding a bunch of electronic components to a battery do? Does it increase draw? Probably. But what do I know?
I don't know. I'm not a botanist. Oh, you got Crown Vics right there and you're using this?
Hi, James.
Shame.
I tell you what, 0 to 60, there's no booty.
Well, we're curious what you thought.
Especially if they give
the
it
first time of
sport
driving
mode.
kind of in just an electric car in general, it's a lot of fun to drive. The acceleration on it is beautiful. The handling is just phenomenal. Very light input of the steering, and it's very responsive to exactly what it needs.
Where's my MDC? Where's my LiDAR?
It's the big iPad.
Where's my? You know what I mean, though.
You got your GoPro.
Gosh, you guys are all looking back there.
And we got him.
That was a good time. That was a good time.
That'd be really fun to do on a track, though.
This just feels so much more sluggish. The cornering just feels so much more just kind of out of place. The amount of times you can just move with so much more precision.
So batteries or electric cars will have a lower center of gravity. So you get like a natural, better handling car because all that weight sits a little, especially when you're comparing to an SUV.
Although I will say, so since I have an Explorer, obviously not a police Explorer, but it's actually like a lot of the weight's on the bottom of that, which makes it handle really, really nicely.
Yeah.
Obviously not as nicely as this.
No, but it does help.
But I don't know how it compares to the Tahoes, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those are a lot more top heavy.
The acceleration,
they
braking,
float a
the
bit
handling
more than
capability of it is just
does.
honestly far superior. Just the absolute dynamic and
at about 97 to 99% state of charge, which is basically like full tank. So what do you guys think the cars are at? The performance car is at right over 55%. And then the long range is at 60%. So you guys have been ripping, and literally after a few hours, there's still plenty of charge.
Yeah.
So I mean that kind of answers that question of like, well, I don't know if this is good for patrol, and it's like, well, I don't know. Are you a 12-hour shift or are you a 32-hour shift? So
I was told mathematically speaking.
Hold on. I want to hear this argument.
99% state of charge, which is basically like full tank. So what do you guys think the car
far superior? Just the absolute.
So they're claiming that these cars have only gotten down to 60 or 50% of their battery after a full day worth of EVOC training, which is hard on a car. Conversely, what I will say is to get back to 100% on a patrol car, it takes me 2 minutes worth of putting gas in it versus on an EV to get that kind of energy output, like to get a car to accelerate, that's a big draw on a battery, right? Typically you have to slow charge them back to get that kind of like input, right? You can imagine how long does it take to charge your phone? And your phone's not a high output battery. This is only doing as much work as you can, right, on a phone. Same thing with like a laptop battery, right? You can do a lot more. You're asking a battery to provide more power when you have bigger graphics cards and a screen and all that kind of stuff. You're playing a video game or whatever. I'd be curious to see how long it would take it, because even if it is a 12-hour shift, is that card now down for a mandatory 6 hours, or is that card down for 2 minutes, right, to get it to be back to serviceable? Also, fires.
I'm also curious about, because I think who was it that mentioned degradation of it, like after a year, 2 years. So they only have a 3-year.
So
I just looked it up. 3-year warranty on them. After 3 years, they're like 70%.
Because we stomp on patrol cars like day after day, and as long as you give them oil changes and some regular preventative maintenance, you're going to get at least a couple of years out of those instant transmissions before you start having like really big stuff go bad in them. Typically, for patrol use. Other thing I got to imagine is like really extreme temperatures. So if this is in California where it's 70 degrees outside, like a really nice, or even better if it's like a little bit colder, right? Like let's say it's 50 or whatever, you're going to have better battery efficiency than you would in the summer in Texas where it's 110 plus the battery running, plus I'm over concrete. Then there's idle time. I need to run a siren. Again, you have all these other things that are going to eat battery, where on a traditional engine, an alternator is just simply power, and a converter is basically powering all that stuff. As long as I got fuel, this car will run. I'd be curious to see. I'd love to go to one of these things. I'm sure there's questions.
I have some data for you guys.
Okay.
So we got here at about 97 to 99% state of charge, which is basically like full tank. So what do you?
Under the lights, it's only 88 feet, and they did it at 56.
Yeah,
that was the student.
That was just the students, not the people who
that was.
That's bull. And that was by far the most impressive thing.
Come on, Sarge.
You don't got to use a lot of the brakes. Even going around some of these corners like that, it was just take your foot off, and it kind of did it for you.
Let's see. It's also the difference between a new vehicle and an old vehicle. I could do a brake job on my truck right now, and just my tired old truck is not going to brake as well as Juan's 2-year-old vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Both relatively heavy Fords, right? Like newer vehicles, all that stuff tends to work a little bit better. Thoughts on a low idle cop car for an Explorer?
I think they might be wanting to buy like a used cop Ford Explorer.
If it's got low now, if it's a police package Explorer, yes. Especially if it was like a fleet vehicle, like for a supervisor that basically just putted around in it periodically, then yeah. But what I wouldn't want is like a redone one, because the problem is we hit curbs really hard.
Mm-hmm.
We also hit potholes really hard.
I was gonna say the quality of those miles makes a difference.
So you end up getting a lot of misalignment issues. I would just go around with like a caliper or something and try to see how straight the body is still. Because even though you might have low miles, they might be hard. Like Juan's saying, hard low miles. For a patrol car, 50,000 miles is a lot. I had some that made it to like 130,000 miles, but engine was replaced, transmission was replaced, all of my suspension components were replaced. Like we were having to replace like weird stuff in these cars. At 130 miles or 130,000 miles versus my truck at 200K plus, I still have almost all of the original parts minus a couple. So,
which is also another point, because with a Tesla like these, any of those replacements are going to be a lot more expensive. You lose the battery, you might as well just get a new car.
Yeah.
Like the cost of that's expensive.
Yeah.
Handling
we call these project cars.
It actually handled the head
That's
a
my
lot better
truck.
than
Is
I
a
thought it
project
would.
car.
Obviously, it handles like an all-wheel drive car. You can tell it's all-wheel drive by the way it grips the corners and things like that. But the ESC, when it kicks in handling the corners, in addition to the regen, it works really, really well. It's smooth. I mean, as a driver, it's nice because I don't have to tube a brake. I don't have to tap my left on the brake pedal. Right.
All-wheel drive means you also have more components to maintain. It's why you don't see any like four-wheel drive cars. Like you might have trucks, but it's rare you'll see a four-wheel drive truck in a police fleet like that. Mostly because now there's an extra drivetrain I have to maintain. It's your cost of maintenance and like runtime. That's kind of what you're looking at. I mean, it would be great to have a Corvette. That would handle way better than anything out here. But like, maintenance is very expensive on that.
Right foot on the gas to be able to turn corner properly, to make it work and have it smooth. I just let off the gas a little bit. It does what I needed to do as almost a trail brake type scenario, and then come around and out of turn. And it handled very well. And even when I tried to push it a little too much in a couple spots intentionally, it caught it, but it wasn't like an out of control catch where a lot of the other ESCs, like in the Explorers and some of the other ones, if the ESC kicks in, it almost feels uncontrollable a little bit, where it's trying to, you're fighting the ESC. This almost complemented your driving with the ESC. So I would say I'm thoroughly impressed by how it handled and performed. It's a believer on me. Well, just even push avoidance to handle.
You know, in the Crown Vics, the fastest you can go 45, maybe 50 if you're lucky. These guys were getting it at 56, no problem, which is
unheard of.
Wow.
You guys know our turnaround time?
No.
90 days.
Jesus.
So
Can I get a
whistle?
That's impressive. First time driving an electric car, and as I was mentioning to these guys earlier, I think the difference between the two vehicles.
These are so... I'm not saying they're not good spotlights because I haven't seen them like work, but I have my doubts. Like, for real. Also, the other thing I might add is this is a pretty small back seat. You also have a pretty small trunk. Now, you should have both hood space and trunk space because there should be nothing up here. But if they don't make these relatively large, you have your duty bag, especially if you're riding two-man, like you don't have your passenger seat, right? Sometimes you'll have drones. You'll have riot gear. We were required to carry ours during 2020, which is a whole pain in the butt. I don't remember when they ever rescinded that. Other ancillary stuff like medical. Some of the guys are having to keep their rifles back there, rifle bag. Still a lot of equipment, your lunch, like dumb stuff like that. And then imagine doing that for two officers. I don't think it's happening here. There's just not a lot of
It's just absolutely staggering. So after doing roughly 20, 30 laps in the Tesla, handling that course, and then I jumped in the Explorer, did the same course, and I can tell you right off the bat, I was pretty much didn't want to be an Explorer anymore. The overall performance of those Teslas was just phenomenal. It's just a lot more fun. It handles more effectively. It's a lot safer of a propulsion engine to get around those courses and to basically handle just day-to-day activities of patrol. So I'm sold on it. I was kind of
But like, and this is kind of the argument is why we went away from the V8s in our Chargers was just fuel consumption alone. I think they cost like $2 million more a year to run V8s, if not more, just in gas mileage, because the cars idle more than anything. To keep the AC on and to keep, your lights going and your computer running and charged, it just idles. Because if not, if I just leave it off, I'd kill the battery over time. And they have ancillary batteries in patrol cars to like compensate for that. But generally, I think we had within 2 years, it was something crazy, like 5,000 or 6,000 idle hours or something. It's sitting there in park, just humming, right? I'd be curious to see how it handles that. Though I do agree fully that I bet a Tesla drives way the hell better. So would a Corvette. So would a lot of other stuff. When that's the only kind of criteria you're measuring it by. But the same problem with a Corvette, no trunk space. Where the hell am I going to put my detainee, right? Like in the passenger seat, what happens if I'm two-man? There's some other problems.
hesitant when it came to electric vehicles prior to today.
I was equally amazed at just how much better it is than the Explorer as far as handling, acceleration. The braking component really was hard for me to get around because, oh my God, this car's almost driving itself for me. And it's going to correct some of our bad behaviors or bad habits. I enjoyed it. I'd never driven one until today. And I have a different mindset.
Driving one, I bet, is very cool.
2 o'clock than I did, 1 o'clock than I did at 6 a.m.
I also argue taking a shot with a bolt action rifle at a target at 100 yards away is probably way better than doing it with my handgun. But am I going to carry that bolt action rifle with me everywhere? And how often am I taking a 100-yard shot, right?
So, question for you. How many of these guys do you think are actually patrol and how many are admin?
Well, this guy's pretty old and isn't wearing a uniform. I saw it. This guy's a sergeant. Could be a patrol sergeant, so I'm going to say that he's on the road, right? Mm-hmm. This guy, maybe. This guy, for sure, he's pretty young. Could also be a specialized unit. Now, a lot of times, too, these are DWI unit guys, traffic enforcement guys. They're the ones that drive technically more than anybody. But they're not doing patrol. They're doing like a very specific task. So probably nobody.
Mm-hmm. Was not necessarily sold, but I know.
Mike's one of our best drivers here, and I've never seen people keep up with Mike.
Also,
that guy doesn't look like.
My dog is totally rocking a 4th gen Smith & Wesson. That's incredible. Yeah. 1, he's my hero. But 2, like at the same time, like that tells you everything you need to know. That's oh man, that is bringing it. I literally bought one because I thought it was really cool as like a historic thing. I'd probably never carry one on patrol because they're kind of heavy and rounds limited, but game respects game here. Shout out to that.
They did. In that
guy's an old
That was, to me, that was like...
Couldn't catch.
Yeah. There's no way.
I was working real hard.
And he was pushing, Mike's pushing that Explorer as far as it was capable of performing, but it can't perform any more than what it was doing. And the Teslas, it seemed like, even you guys saw it, you guys didn't put much effort into it to keeping up with it. So that, to me, is telling.
Agreed.
Is that you got a professional...
Some new information, and I just want to express thanks to everyone who took the time to come up here.
Okay, done. I'm done with the rest of that. The handling and performance, yes. Like I said, even with like a rifle, I could totally justify a $6,000 AR for patrol use. 1,000%. Same thing with like staccatos, right? Could totally justify and say, yes, if I bought my entire department staccatos, they would 100% probably have better qual scores, but they cost like triple, if not quadruple, the cost of a Glock or something like that. Conversely, the difference being, imagine if, unfortunately, staccatos are built in relatively reliable platforms. That platform's been around for eons. Imagine if I had to change the springs every 1,000 rounds. Like, that would just be untenable. Or again, like kind of like what we're saying with the Teslas, idle time, charge time, wear and tear on the vehicle, how long it'll take to maintain these things. There's probably some government stipends or like grants for people that are adopting the tech. And so it would be very appealing for a command staff to buy in My fear is then you're then saddled with these things 4 years later, and you're like, what the hell? Like, we can't keep any of these cars up and
once
running.
the grant runs out and you're still like, well,
right.
You multiply charge time over however many cars in the fleet.
Right.
And now you got a problem.
Yeah. So I'm going to say I'm going to take points from society for just trying to take taxpayer money. And I'm going to take points from admin for not asking hard questions. I'm just going to take 10, though. I still think these are terrible ideas. Will the tech eventually be there? Yes. And I am jealous of the guys that have like a hot swappable battery.
I mean, China has it already, but
allegedly.
We only have Teslas.
Allegedly, they already have it.
Dude, have you seen some of their freaking BYD car? Bro.
Right. But again,
listen, is it a Tesla? No. Is it $9,000? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That is true. You're like, well, what do you just buy another one every year?
What do you care if you put that thing into a tree?
Yeah, buy it.
Yeah, buy another one with pocket change, dog.
That's fair. I'll take that back. They also have Hiluxes, which I'm jealous of. If I could have
dude.
a Hilux,
oh, my uncle has a Hilux. Oh, it was so nice.
Damn! 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 That's DeSoto County and everything.
Mississippi boys on the highway.
Damn!
How does he end up?
It's dinner on the show. I like it.
Damn! Damn!
I'm gonna call that a bad pit. Who was? Hold on, I'm gonna mute this. Is this the sheriff's office?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm only gonna take 5, but golly, let's not go like careening into a residential area after pitting somebody. Maybe do a little better. You know what though? +10 to media. That guy was in it to win it. For having a potato he was filming it on, my dog. Oh, did we see this one?
Police officers who were, well, caught on video right here doing donuts in last week's snow
and out. But I don't think we've seen it on stream.
I'll play it.
Being disciplined, that's according to the police union.
But that didn't stop the union from firing back at one of the men who recorded the stunt. In a series of posts, they called him out for, quote, snitching, which he says put a target on his back.
ABC 13's Alex Bozargian.
I mean, if the shoe fits. I'm teasing.
He was whistleblowing, Josh.
Yeah, that's different.
I have an Alex activist.
Whistleblowing is what happens when you do it to your own people. Snitching is when you're doing it to somebody else.
They're worried about the message this could send. What's the union saying tonight?
Eric, the union is being pretty lighthearted about this whole thing, and that really falls in line with what they've done thus far, which is essentially troll him and Brown when he went public and spoke about this video. Brown says he fears for his safety and doesn't appreciate the union airing out his dirty laundry on Facebook. The union isn't denying the officers were in the wrong, but they said they were working long shifts during the storm and, quote, got a little silly at the end.
I didn't really think it was gonna go viral like it did.
Nor did him and Brown think this video
Y'all look at HPD, man. Look, they out here doing donuts, man.
would set off an internet war between him and the Houston Police Officers Union.
Just leave me alone. I don't want no problems.
When Brown first spoke to ABC 13,
if he only posted it to the internet, it's not snitching. That's just him saying something funny and videotaping.
He probably posted it to Facebook and was like, hey, look at this.
If he sent the complaint to the police department, then it's snitching. If this is just a video he posted on his own social media, they're being petty. Okay, I'm becoming team this guy. I don't want to be, but I might be.
and he said officers were having...
I've told Stream the story of the time I saw, because I've seen this same thing. It was not even snowing. It was just bored-ass rowlett cops doing this, and I almost hit one of them because he was doing it into the middle of the highway.
What an idiot.
having reckless fun and doing exactly what they told citizens not to do.
Snitch. We're human. We like to have a good time just like they do.
The police...
Agreed. But you're not allowed to do that on duty.
Also due regard.
Agreed.
Conditions on the road.
Find an abandoned parking lot. Do your donuts. Have I done dumb things in a patrol car before? 100%. Have I done dumb stuff on duty in general? Yeah, sure. But you get caught, you wear it. If not, Brady list. I'm teasing.
Union proceeded to poke fun at Brown for his cracked windshield on Facebook and called him a snitch.
He took it a little serious, and then things may have went off the rails a little bit.
The attacks got more personal and included reposted videos of Brown ghost riding his own vehicle.
You can't do what he does in public. And
okay, they're winning me back.
I'm good with it.
Because it's just a social media person. It's like, hey, you know what? Send it.
Then turn around and call out others.
It's really messing with me because y'all posting all my business on social media. It's like y'all doing a lot to me. And
to be fair,
sharing
you
business.
posted.
I was gonna say sharing
your business on social media.
Y'all really getting me scared, like, because I ain't did nothing. I ain't did nothing wrong. Y'all was in the wrong.
Brown says it sets a bad precedent when police ask citizens to speak up, and when someone does, even over something minor, the union goes after them.
They were trying to be dismissive of their behavior by saying that the young man was doing something similar, but do two wrongs make it right?
If you're going to be an advocate, do better than do two wrongs make a right. Like, you know what I mean? You can just say both parties are in the wrong and call it a day. That's my take. You know what?
My take would be it's different for a private citizen versus a government entity. Now, if it's the union doing it, that's still like iffy. But like an organization doing it to you versus you as a person doing it to the organization, very different power dynamics there.
Right.
That's your argument.
But I will say it wasn't the police department, it was the union, which the union has no legal authority over you. They can't come arrest you. They can't write a warrant for you. That being said, I would have posted the ghostwriting. I wouldn't have made fun of his crack windshield, which is still hilarious. But yeah, you're not. Cooler head should have come up and been like, "Hey, maybe we don't bully this random complainant. He is a complainant. Yeah. Issue an apology, and on your personal account, go be like, yeah, but this idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go on the neighborhood group and
that's
do
fine. That's fine. But yes, as a official body, shouldn't be doing that.
The optics of it are bad.
It's a terrible. That's why I took points. I had to take them from. Oh, do I have to take that from municipal? Yeah, it's a municipal. Yeah, I got it. So I took 6 from municipal and I took 5 from suspects for snitching. That's not gangsta.
Calls for you guys. I'm calling a missing right now. 622, you still back? Go ahead.
2 Rochester police officers are suspended with pay over radio calls made between cars on Sunday. The RPD says the calls appear, in their words, immature and unprofessional.
So now there's an internal investigation. Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen has a recording of the calls from police headquarters.
The radio calls went over one of the RPD's secondary channels, used mostly to talk car to car. But we heard it on our scanners, we recorded it, and we shared it with the chief of police.
Snitch! Where's media? 10 points.
We don't even know what they said.
I don't even care. Snitch. It was radio traffic. 1, get your shit encrypted. But 2, like, come on now.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
The call started just before 5 o'clock Sunday. It starts with a call that seems to fool a 911 dispatcher.
I've got a blackmail in a RV recruitment car. He's going to be going northbound on Ames.
Security, disregard. Yeah, 10-4.
He looks good. He's wearing a direct.
One of the officers explains that they're going to Philadelphia on behalf of the RPD.
Listen, guys, we're going to be in Philly representing the Rochester Police Department, man. I'm going to take a shot for every one of you guys, you know?
Another officer responds.
Why do I feel like I'm getting assaulted right now? Yeah, but we're going to get that one of these days, so just plan on us being that one of these days. Probably Monday or Tuesday.
How much longer till your radio doesn't work anymore?
Residual female, eh? Take it out a little bit.
Someone should breathalyze this kid.
RPD would not say why the officers were going to Philadelphia, although one call talks about recruiting.
Yeah, like young officers that work for recruitment. That's what it meant.
The rest of the radio calls are like locker room talk, with officers challenging each other over who can run faster or do more push-ups. The RPD gave us a statement, and I want to read part of it to you. Here's what it says. It prides itself on adhering to the mission statement of crime reduction, service, and professionalism. Unfortunately, on Tuesday, we received recordings of radio traffic from one of our car-to-car non-primary radio channels that captures what appears to be immature and unprofessional behavior that falls short of meeting our mission. The officers are suspended until the internal investigation is over.
A write-up? Probably. But it's not on a primary channel.
So explain what this kind of channel would be.
So we had
the people in the chat that don't know, because I totally know.
So right. So we had, at least in my departments, we had north. We had all the cardinal directions, basically north, south, east, and west channel, which is the primary channel for those areas of operation. We had CIC, completely different channel, for like running people and stuff like that. We also had what we called Talk Around, or TA, which was channel 6. This is so you have the 4 main channels, CIC, Talk Around. Then you had like TAC channels. So like if I wanted to run an operation, like, hey, we're going to do a warrant service, as opposed to, instead of taking up North Channel's air time, I'd tell everybody in the operation to move over. Sometimes it would be observed by a dispatcher. Sometimes it wouldn't be, but we'd know that ahead of time. They'd tell us we don't have anybody available. That's a non-monitored channel. So if you key up, only the guys on the channel are going to be able to respond, unless you hit the red button.
Mm-hmm.
So these channels are completely independent of one another. I didn't know what was going on South Channel unless I had like switched, like my in-car radio or something like that. But there is no, it's like a different channel on your TV, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if this is a talk, like a peer-to-peer, we called it Talk Around. No official business is typically going on in Talk Around. I'm not saying you're not like, hey, just meet me at the corner here. Or if I have like a long-winded explanation for a call, like I just answered a call there right before when my shift started. Somebody else is going to a call, so I'm going to the station to leave. Hey, go to Talk Around real quick. Especially if I don't have that guy's cell phone number or whatever it is. We could have those conversations because I wasn't worried about somebody walking on my traffic. If you said you were going to Talk Around, everyone and their mother would want to hear what you're saying because they're all like nosy, right?
Yeah.
And every once in a while you get a supervisor that would like complain to you. Again, we talk about time on call. There was 6 of us hanging out on a call that you probably only needed 2 officers for. You'd have a supervisor, I need you guys to go to TA real quick. And everybody like, ooh, someone's in trouble. And everyone would key over. And sure enough, he'd be like, y'all doing something there? No? Okay, well, I need y'all to clear. It'd be that simple. It's typical conversations that would happen on TA. Or a Talk Around channel, or just a simple peer-to-peer channel where dispatch is not monitoring it. They can if they want. They have the ability to change channels too, but this is a non-issue. It's like getting kind of blown out of proportion. I ran Motorola's. 99% of the police departments I knew ran Motorola's. So yes, we had digital encryption in ours, so there was no finding it like on your ham radio. I'm sure if you got sophisticated enough, maybe you could figure it out. But like Motorola was encrypting our radios, and we were paying for like the super bougie. Like pretty much the feds were the only people that could do it.
Don't we have Patreon member in Rochester?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me about this. I could see if the wrong person in command staff heard this, where you're probably getting a lecture, but like an IA investigation, unless you were on duty, clearly somebody sounded like a little intoxicated here. And if they were doing this off duty, you're probably going to write up for conduct like unbecoming, but you're probably not getting days. It's just going to be like a written reprimand or something like that. This whole thing's dumb. This is dumb. They're dumb.
Were
for
they in
reporting
their
it.
recruitment cars?
Right. seems petty. Done. I took points from media. Not taking it from anybody else. Let's see what this is. We're going to keep going.
So there's two types of interdictors out there. You got your hunters and you got your watchers. The watchers, they're going to tell you why it can't be done. They're going to tell you that guy's clean. There's no dope in that car. You're wasting your time. Stop stopping those cars. They're going to talk behind your back after the brief or to other shift partners. They clock in, they take their calls, and they go home. They follow, they watch. That's what they do, and that's cool. That's cool for them. But the hunters, they don't wait. We don't wait. We go out there, we make it happen. We dictate the tempo of the streets of the shift. We go out there, we find dope, we find guns, we find fugitives. We don't just sit back. We take the fight to the criminals. And yeah, the watchers are going to talk, they're going to comment, but quiet that noise. That's what they do. They're doubters. But while they're sitting on the sidelines, we're out there making a real difference in our respective communities. So ask yourself this, are you a hunter?
I'm going to go ahead and have him take a whole seat real quick. Do I agree that when you are unencumbered by calls for service that you should be stopping cars? 1,000%. We talk about CCP or Code and Criminal Procedure like it's a religion here because we want to make sure that when you are doing these investigations that the charges stick and that we're not violating people's constitutional rights. And I do agree that, like I said, when you're not encumbered, you should go out of your way, especially when the manpower is there, to go out there and go do this. Conversely, you are the D-bags not working calls for service in your beat. When you're being a warrior out here, or a hunter or whatever he calls it,
hunter,
over like a half an ounce of weed and some dude's Taurus, and I'm now having to go fight somebody in a domestic in your beat because you're too busy taking that person to jail. You're a worthless warrior. Our primary goal is to answer calls for service, that when people call for help from the government, somebody shows up. Not next week, not tomorrow, not in 30 minutes, as soon as humanly possible. You want your response time to be within minutes. If you could be down the street, it'd be even better. Seconds is like ideal. Doesn't happen 9 times out of 10, but this mindset of take the fight to them makes it seem, the language around it makes it seem like there is some enemy out there, and there's simply not. Is there organized crime? 1,000%. Are there people out there shooting, robbing, stealing, beating up on people? Sure. And that's your job, is to combat that. You are the violent response to that. However, that is not your primary, unless you're a specialized unit, that is not your primary goal as patrol. Most of the people that adopt this mindset that they're a hunter and they're an interdiction guy, terrible reports, terrible at CCP, get charges kicked all the time because they're constantly operating in the gray. And I guarantee you there's likely somebody every single shift working a call on your beat, and I find that lazy. You were chasing clout as opposed to being a service person. You can do both. You can go and be an interdiction king and also answer your calls for service and not be lazy. This is a very ego-driven mindset behind policing, and I find it gross. Let's see. Does he say...
Yeah, typically if there's a binary mindset to a very complex problem, you're probably wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Where does this guy work?
You're just ignoring an entire...
Yeah.
He's an interdiction academy guy, so he teaches interdiction.
What?
Oh, for street cop training. Shocking.
Oh, no.
Oh, Texas.
Oh, no. Don't let
I don't
it
know
be.
Yeah. Do you know him?
No.
He's one of the street cop guys. Looks like.
Oh, he's a traveler. So this is not a current police officer. This is a former like me, like a loser. Yeah, but where were you a cop? It's going to be like some small town somewhere. I'm going to get mad. Sorry, dog. You asked for it. Here we are. Where were you a cop?
Oh no, he took a certification course.
Don't get started. No, it better not be. Oh, I'm going to get mad if that's the case.
Let me see.
Chad, I need you to figure this out.
I'm finding it.
I'm struggling right now. I find this really offensive, to be honest.
Okay, he says Nick brings over 13 years of law enforcement experience. Doesn't say where.
It's a lot, but from where?
And has invested 9 years of his career within narcotics and criminal interdiction units.
Okay, but
Nick
where?
specializes in criminal highway interdiction. Does not tell us at all. It just gives us how many pounds of stuff he collected.
And I believe that. But could have been with the Border Patrol where it's like, like shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes.
One truck. Yeah, based on the poundage, it could have been one truck.
New Mexico State? Oh, no, this isn't one to watch. Thank you. Anyways, I'm not saying the guy wasn't a cop. I'm not. I think at least he has law enforcement experience to back that. But I have a real beef with that mindset, mostly because he got certified at the Chicago Urban Self-Defense course. All I'm saying is don't be that guy. You can do both. The job of law enforcement is a very multifaceted thing. I think if you're highway patrol, it's a little different. I could see this mindset being a lot more kosher there because that's kind of all you're there for. Like that is, you were tasked with highways where you don't really answer 911 calls, right? Unless it's like somebody in distress on the highway. County, I could also see this being maybe a bit more applicable, but because your call volume is going to be less, you're going to work and operate in a more rural area. But dude, as like a city cop, like unless you're a specialized unit, which is unencumbered by 911 calls, those buttholes. I just had beef. Where's Keith when you need him? He'd back me up on this.
Right.
He was a cop, citizen on patrol. Oh, millennial, I love you. I don't even know who to take points from here. We're just gonna do media. No, we'll do society. No, we'll do society. How about that?
There you go.
I'm gonna take 20 for being an idiot.
Maybe we could be a vigilante, although I guess that's technically only for our Discord.
Yeah, that's only the Discord people.
A police officer walks up to your front door and notices a doorbell camera or a porch security cam. But instead of acting professionally, the police officer chooses to cover up the camera, or even worse, disable the camera.
It's criminal mischief. I'd press the charge. Substantial inconvenience. Don't touch my stuff. It's a public area. I'm allowed to videotape. Worst, that's on my property.
Hiding what he's planning to do next. Sound extreme? Unfortunately, it's not. This is happening all over the country, with some police departments admitting to it being routine practice. In this video, I'm breaking down number 1, is it legal for police to tamper with your security cameras? Number 2, the specific steps you can take to protect your privacy and
make non-movable security cameras. They make them with like a bulb around them. They basically have to like spray paint it or break it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Also, like Ring cameras that literally just like drill into them. You can put them out of reach.
That's what I have.
You basically put it to where like he'd have to get on like a chair or something to reach it. That'd be the smartest way to do it. But I've already answered all these questions. But we're going to listen.
And your security. And then number 3, how to handle a police officer if he refuses to leave your front door.
Refuse to answer the door.
Protecting your home starts with knowing your rights. So let's dive in. So can cops actually cover up your security cameras or disable them altogether?
No.
In order to answer this question, we need to understand the special relationship that your front and back porch area of your home has under the 4th Amendment. When cops approach your front or your back door, this is an area that has been identified by the U.S. Supreme Court as being curtilage, which is the area immediately surrounding the inside of your home. Under the 4th Amendment, this area of your home, known as the curtilage, has the same amount of protection under the 4th Amendment as the inside of your home does, which means police officers...
Now, the door itself doesn't. So curtilage is going to require restricted access in a lot of instances. There's a little bit of a gray area here, but they can search it the same way the Uber Eats driver can drop off your chicken nuggets at your front door without, you've given them express consent to do it, but like they can approach it. They just can't be like messing with your stuff.
Have much less flexibility when it comes to search and seizures in the curtilage immediately surrounding the inside of your home. Now, I looked for a specific case involving police officers coming up to a front door and manipulating or destroying a security camera. But I couldn't find anything specific, but I can tell you this. If the police officer is walking up to your front door and performing what's known as a knock and talk, he cannot exceed what is known as social norms. Now, what exactly is a knock and talk?
It's a consensual stop where you are not detained or obligated to talk to them. This would be like a door-to-door salesman, your Mormons, the Jehovah's Witness people. Unless you have a no solicitation thing on there, they have every right to go up and knock on it, because despite it being attached to your home, it is still like a designed to be public accessible thing. Unless you're like one of my really smart neighbors. He has just straight up like a completely encased house. It's kind of badass. And he's got like a little drop box for mail. It's really cool, actually.
A knock and talk is a police investigative technique where a police officer walks up to your front door, knocks on the door, and wants to have a conversation with you, which the real reason he's looking to do this is to use that as a basis to potentially search the inside of your home.
So I understand where the Hampton law firm's coming from, and that usually their involvement in cases that deal with the police is where somebody has a complaint. This is going to be like a civil rights lawyer, right? We have used knock and talks for welfare checks. So like, let's say, you know, Juan can't get a hold of Boot Megan, right? Or I can't get a hold of Bill, and we believe he's at a specific address. Doesn't mean we know he's there. His phone totally could have died. Just last known place was here. I can just knock to see if somebody shows up. You know what I mean? Hey, is Bill here? Somebody thinks
like that time you overslept.
Exactly like that. So it's not to establish, like, my intent is not to establish probable cause to go kick this door in again. If I see Bill, cool, awesome. I can go tell my complainant, hey, your loved one's not dead. No, we're not doing the missing persons and all that stuff, right? Like, we're not doing the Amber
Go talk
Alert,
to them,
right? But here's a phone. You can go talk to him. I have done service to the community, and I've alleviated stress. He's coming at it from the perspective of you're implicated in a specific call, right? Let's say it's stalking or something. They're trying to walk up and again, a knock and talk is like, hey, you are in a Facebook group, and that Facebook group participates in something, and we want to talk to you about it. Pound sand, dude. Get out of my face. I'm assuming that's the route he's going to, but it's typically also where they're getting calls. So all of their legal expertise is going to be around those type of interactions. And in that case, yes, that is the only reason why law enforcement would approach you to knock on your door. But this means they don't have a search warrant, which is important. Because if they don't have a search warrant, that means, one, they have a good judge that told them, hey, pound sand, that's not enough to go violate their rights. And I do find this at times a very sleazy way to try to establish said exigency or probable cause for a search.
Home or use it as probable cause for an arrest. Police are taught to use this tactic of a knock and talk when they believe there might be some criminal activity going on, but they don't yet have enough
crazy. It's like I'm a subject matter expert.
Probable cause to go get a search warrant. Now, if cops are coming to your front door only as a knock and talk, they don't have probable cause. The Supreme Court has ruled that police have nothing more than what's known as a license to approach. Now, I've already mentioned that your front porch and your front door is considered curtilage under the Fourth Amendment. As a result of that, that area, as the officer approaches your front door, is just as protected as the inside of your home. So as a result, if an officer is legally allowed to come to your front door and knock on the front door, he must be in compliance with what the court calls socially acceptable behavior, just as anyone else, just as a delivery driver or anyone else might do when they come to your front door. So that being said, let's apply that for a second. Think about a guy that's coming to your front door trying to sell you something. Do you think it would be socially acceptable behavior for that guy to walk over there and cover your security camera, or start grabbing for your porch cam and trying to move it away, or maybe disable it, throw it down into the bushes? Absolutely not. That would not be considered socially acceptable behavior. The Supreme Court gave us this social norm standard in the case known as Florida versus Jardines.
Good to know. I did not know there was case law on it. Shout out to your boy.
Florida v. Jardines.
You know what? You know, I'm going to give, what is this? This is going to be defense.
No, judges, right? Because they would have ruled it. We don't have defense attorneys on here.
I'll give judges 10 points. That's a good one.
In that case, the court said, and I quote, "The knocker on the front door is treated as an invitation or license to attempt an entry, justifying ingress to the home by solicitors, hawkers, and peddlers of all kinds." The court then went on to say, and I quote, Thus, a police officer not armed with a warrant may approach a home and knock, precisely because that is no more than any private citizen might do. Now let's combine that ruling in Florida versus Jardines with another ruling known as United States versus Jacobson. In that case, the court ruled that a seizure of property occurs under the Fourth Amendment when police intentionally interfere with an individual's possessory interests in their property.
So like if I were to like block your driveway or something crazy like that, but I don't have a warrant to do it, or I don't have like a law enforcement objective to do it, there's no exigency, then that's, shout out to them. Another good one. U.S. versus Jacobson. It's a great case there.
In other words, if police mess with people's stuff or manipulate it in any way, in such a way that the owner didn't want it, that could definitely be a search under the Fourth Amendment. Now, how does that apply to cops moving a security camera or covering it up during a knock and talk? Applying the court standard here, even though there's not a case they damage the camera, it's criminal mischief, which could be an arrestable offense. Now, if this happens and the officer walks up and he's covering your camera or he's destroying that camera, the first thing I'm going to encourage you to not do is do not open your front door.
No.
Unless the officer has a valid warrant or some act, you can demand that he leaves right now and come back with a warrant. But wait, if you really think the officer is criminally trespassing and he's refusing to leave, can't you just make a citizen's arrest?
No.
This is where I get this question very frequently from people saying, I'm going to make a citizen's arrest and take matters into my own hands. I want to warn you here, please reconsider. Every court I've ever...
Oh, you know what? That's based for him being like, that's dumb. Don't do that. I'm not saying legally there's not an argument here. I'm just saying that's stupid.
You're going to get shot.
Seen holds that someone, a citizen, attempting to arrest an on-duty armed police officer, they have ruled that it is against public policy for this to happen. Now, cops know this. So how do you think they're going to treat you if you try to make a citizen's arrest? You'll end up in the hospital or worse. The only exception to this is, if the cop tries to use unjustifiable deadly force, you always have a right to defend yourself. Now, what if
that is codified within the law?
Too bad it won't be on camera.
Agreed. And that's kind of what I was going to say was like, this is kind of why...
So put on your little GoPro.
Yeah. Turn on the GoPro. Say, what's going on, chat? Put the baby Jesus in the chat. Also, all the super chats will go to my legal fund because I'm totally getting raided after this.
Instead, cops show up at your front door in the middle of the night, banging violently on your door, demanding that you open it immediately? Is this a regular knock and talk? No. Absolutely not. This is something completely different. If cops show up at your front door, demanding, pounding on the front door, demanding that you open it immediately, and it looks like they're refusing to leave, courts have ruled that in that situation, this is no longer a knock and talk because a reasonable person under the same circumstances would believe they are not free to leave and they had no other choice but to open the door. Under that scenario, you are actually detained even before you open the door. Cops have now detained you under that situation. So if you open that door and confront them, this is not a situation where you can demand that they leave. At this moment, it is critical to exercise your rights. You got to stop right then and tell the officers, Officer, I exercise my right to remain silent. I will not answer any questions without... French versus Merrill. Cops showed up over at French's house doing a knock and talk, looking for a cell phone from his ex-girlfriend. Now, mind you, this was late at night. By itself, the court said this was not illegal. Number one, they kept focusing on the fact that the porch lights were still on. The cops had specific knowledge that French had just been over at the ex-girlfriend's house a short time earlier. But the real problem here was not that the cops came to the front door and were beating on the door. The problem is they kept coming back over and over again. In fact, the court specifically said in the actual facts that when the officers would come to the front door, they could see French peeping through the actual blinds. And so they knew that French saw them. And obviously they saw French. And French still refused to answer the front door. When police know that you don't want to talk and they still...
So here's one of these situations where was the defendant probably guilty of stealing his girlfriend's phone? Yeah. But he made it home safe. I don't have a real good reason to go. Let somebody do theft. There's probably some shared property nonsense going on. Probably it's like a civil matter more than it is like a criminal matter, especially if they're in a domestic relationship, and that's kind of a weird gray area when it comes to property. You might take the theft report, you might do whatever, but this is where if you don't got it, you don't got it. Was the thing I had a senior officer tell me a long time ago, where these officers continuing to persist to try to live. Hey, if I just get him to open that door, if I had a reason to be in there, just kick it. I'd be able to articulate the exigency and go do whatever it is I got to go do. I've done it before. Heck, Patreon has seen body cam footage of me forcing entry on a domestic because I had it. I knew what I had, and I could have been wrong, but I knew in that moment a reasonable person would have assumed I was correct, and I was covered on that. But this whole middle ground thing is sussy.
Refuse to leave. They are now violating.
What if he has a gun? We would ask him what kind, because that looks pretty rad. In Texas, where I was a police officer, him having a gun does not change a single thing about the interaction, because in that case, it was a civil issue between two people about a phone. Same thing, you know. I think that you're implicated in something, but I think you're implicated. That is very loose grounds at best. Not going to give me a warrant. Not going to give me the right to detain you. All I can do is talk to you. Think about traffic stops, right? I need to have observed a crime that I can then go do something with. That's why interdiction always happens during traffic stops. It's so much more complicated to see something as a random act or get, you know, good data or information from an undercover, and even that's kind of sussy.
Fourth Amendment rights, because this is no longer a knock and talk. This is a Fourth Amendment violation. And the only way they can get around this is if they are able to prove exigent circumstances. Right. Maybe they could claim that there was some type of destruction of evidence going on or some emergency happening.
Right.
Cops are prohibited from lingering around on your curtilage, especially in this situation. The court came down really hard on the police because they said in this situation, the police were very aware that French had no desire whatsoever to speak to them, yet they continued on persistently with their harassment of him at the front door. And as a result of that, the court not only found that this was a Fourth Amendment violation, but they came down very hard and did something you very rarely see in courts.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You can't block the driveway. Yes, blank. I'm not going to say the name that you changed it to. Blocking someone. So the only difference is going to be like, let's say there's an accident or there's like an active police investigation. If there's a separate investigation going on and it just happens to block your driveway, you're still, I have a law enforcement objective I'm doing. I'm not just singling you out to block you into your home. Kind of the same thing too. We ran into this when we had it was a propane tank boy that was threatening to blow up the apartment. Basically, we got into an altercation, a standoff with him, and we didn't let people go into their apartments because I was like, we're actively pointing guns at an apartment, right? Like, if something goes down, I can't just willingly let you go in there. If something bad happens to you, that's on us. And I felt bad the way that thing ended, but like, though I'm preventing you from lawfully moving, you're not detained, but I am allowed to enforce a crime scene, basically, where I believe that I have a safety bubble to commit or to conduct my investigation safely, both for the public, for the person involved, and then for us. But I have to have a very strong and documented law enforcement objective.
They found there was no qualified immunity for those police officers for the Fourth Amendment violation. Yeah. The court specifically said that a reasonable police officer should and would know, under those circumstances, that the individual in the home had no desire to speak and they must leave unless they have a valid warrant. So remember, if a police officer comes to your house performing a knock and talk, demanding that you come outside and banging...
Oh, crazy. Also, that he mentioned they lost qualified immunity. Crazy, it happens. Here's documented court case that does happen. You can lose qualified immunity.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah. Juan said the one.
The one
it does happen all the time. But this was over something rather petty. Mm-hmm. And they're still willing to do it. Now, it has to be articulated, and you have to have, obviously, a pretty savvy legal defense to do it. But
on your front door, first of all, they cannot actually continue to just beat at your front door and try to threaten that you come outside. They cannot just do that indefinitely. In fact, the only way they can act upon it is if they have some type of exigent circumstances. And I'm going to identify a few of those examples here in a second. But otherwise, I want you to understand, you can ignore them at your front door altogether. So what are some examples? One example would be, let's on your front door. Without exigent circumstances, that doesn't meet social norms, not only for, let's say police officers are coming to your front door to perform a knock and talk, and as they walk by your car parked in the driveway, they happen to look down and they see something sitting in plain view in the front seat of your car.
Right.
In that situation, they happen to see something in plain view as they were on their way for a knock and talk.
Right.
The Supreme Court ruled that police officers do have a license to walk up to your front door and use the normal means of any other public to get to your front door.
Uniform.
So the general rule is if they have a right to be there, they have
stock footage.
Right. Plain view doctrine's been pretty established. We'll go into it. As long as you have a lawful reason to be standing where you're standing, plain view will account for that, and plain view can establish reasonable suspicion / probable cause. Good video. You know what? I have no beef here. Great video. Good job. Not mad about that. What will we give it to? Judges, right? We'll give some more to judges. I'm not gonna spend any more time on that. But what?
Sarah said, "Fart acting man is now a cop."
That's funny.
Yeah, it's the same actor in like every.
It
video.
really is. PC does not mean please come in. Agreed. It does not. What is this?
How do you know that's my before we move on for this? Couple things. First off, Nick Jackson, Bureau of Indian Affairs Police in New Mexico. That's what that dude was. So
what?
Said. Yeah. That's why he got all the
Bureau of Indian Affairs. So people with no rights, because it's like on the res.
Mm-hmm. And that's federal. That's Department of the Interior, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Pretty sure. So yeah, you get the
so
easy.
Never did real police work, is what I'm hearing. And
He might have done a couple years before he moved up to that.
And not that interdiction work isn't real police work, because it can be, but like that mindset does not hold up when legitimately there were times where we had to be like, hey, the Cowboys just lost, right? I need to be available for the domestics that are about to happen, right? Like that, which was every week because it's the Cowboys, right? And so like it being available, like, because we would basically take turns and we'd say, hey, there's 4 of us available. 2 of us were going to go and do interdiction. And the other 2 knew that they were just going to have to sit and wait to be available. The second we got done with our arrest, what did we do? We sat and we waited and said, hey, you guys can get to go do your thing now. Every once in a while, if it was something crazy, sure, you could break that norm. And if you're arresting some guy for a felony warrant, cool. That's fine. I'd forgive that. But if it was like a misdemeanor warrant, you know, that you searched the car, didn't find anything, I was like, dog, are we really wasting our time on this? And here I am getting into almost an OIS in your beat because it was some heinous call that I have to now handle. Like, it just shows a lot of tone deafness to like the reality of policing, where you do have to have officers available for calls for service. Step bro, I love you. He said, I thought knock and talk meant something completely different with a weaky face. My boy. Points from feds, I'll take it. Where's feds? Where'd you go? Feds. We'll take points. I'm gonna take 20. But wasting my time. Also, I know it's just celebrating blank being a member for 8 months, but it just says, have you seen on call? And it's like a phantom now.
I'm getting Daniel Kavanaugh to give me context for Chen and Tim.
Oh.
Texting me on WhatsApp.
Because he said he couldn't use his phone because he's overseas. And then after that, like, that's literally the reason why. I'm telling you the truth. Honestly, the truth. Like,
tell me the truth from the beginning.
In the beginning, me and him had a relationship.
Okay.
Like you clearly see.
A relationship over text?
No, we was really in a relationship.
Like you guys would see each other in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
Then he moved, you know, over there where he's at now.
Where is that?
In Connecticut, overseas.
Okay. Overseas in Connecticut.
What? That's what he said, he moved to Connecticut.
Okay.
Person.
My boy, he's losing his professional composure. Keep it together, brother.
I was like, okay, we can try to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
Then I thought about it, I was like, I don't want to do a long.
How long have you guys been trying this long distance relationship thing?
A good little minute.
Okay. A good little minute is what, a week, a month?
Okay.
I have, Bill's not here to defend himself, so I won't give him too much of a hard time. I have had Bill had to do this for more than once. Or he's like, hold the phone. Like, I'll be back. Oh, man.
And like,
God bless her.
After a while, when you don't hear the person's voice every day, you know, you just be like, oh, I feel like they're cheating.
Have you talked to this guy on the phone?
Yes.
Call him on the phone. Can I talk to him?
Oh, absolutely. Still work.
How do you know that?
Oh my goodness.
I want to know what state she's in, because if it's like a state that borders Connecticut, it's gonna make it so much better.
It's overseas, dog.
It's overseas.
I'm gonna give them 1 point for the. You know what? I'm gonna give them 5
It's on
points
the other side of the Great Lake.
For the interviewer keeping his composure.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Oh, okay. I started reading the caption here. And I was like, whoa, hold on. It's kind of sussy.
So we have to have it in the back. Okay, sorry, love. Seriously, I feel like that's like if you were me, like if you were just
Can't tell you.
I'll blow.
Are you absolutely sure?
Like, yeah.
Okay. Good job.
Dumb.
And we'll see this together. So 0.104.
0.104 is not horrible, but she's 18.
Yeah.
So 0.02 is bad for you, but like, anyways, what's her IG or her?
Legal limit is 0.08.
Like if I hypothetically were to like, I just don't know what the laws are. Like if I really, if I say the police station can have my like mom and dad come pick me up, or like, I don't know how that works. Or
For now, I started just.
I'll tell you what, I've seen a crackhead not stim as much as this girl. She needs to chill.
sorry.
Go ahead and walk right over to those gentlemen. I'm going to grab one more thing out of the back of the car, and then I'm going to head that way as well.
That's
there. It is.
We're gonna take some from society here. Was this municipal?
So we have to have it in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, love.
I've never seen
I
that
feel like
one.
that's like.
I just want to see if this is municipal or not before I give points. Oh yeah, this is municipal.
Yeah.
I'll give him 5 for composure. Oh, a spicy meatball.
Oh, are you trying to punch the window out, dude?
We do not detain people, cars with our bodies, okay?
No.
Also,
especially when 2 other cars are already detaining it with a car.
Shout out to this Explorer going in there and putting in work. It said, "Boy, you want to arrest?" That's what it said. On ice for that matter.
Oh, and now you're flagging the cop car.
Oh, terrible job.
We get no.
Oh, where's media?
Toronto. I mean, that's the security cam.
Central Unity of 1091 northbound.
It counts. He said it's a security cam.
That would be Toronto.
That's Toronto. I only took 5. I'm honestly gonna take points. That was not a great apprehension.
Remember when Hummers had power?
Bro, that was an H1.
Yeah.
Get wrecked. That thing would have pushed a house.
Mm-hmm.
Those H1s did not play. Who dis?
Nobody came in Toronto. Use your baton.
I was like, "Where's the gun belt?" And then it dawned on me.
Yeah, they got
But I tell you what, y'all ain't never worried about getting shot and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy's in a car.
Bro, like getting run over.
Bro, I wish I could feel the same. Use the baton. Get after it, honey.
She got the elbow.
What are y'all doing? Use the car.
Wait, is that who they were telling to like get back?
I don't know what to do.
Hit him with the car. What are you gonna do? Like, oh, you know what? I bet they needed a specialized unit to have a baton.
You know what this reminds me of? That meme where it's the dude punching the windshield. It's, duh, duh,
yeah.
Duh. They should make a gif of this.
What are you gonna do? swear I thought he was gonna hit the lights.
I tell you what though,
A monster.
game respects game.
This thing.
Yes. Well, which one you can't seize in for evidence?
What's going on with the camera?
Well, you recorded evidence, aren't you?
Oh, you've recorded evidence, aren't you? Give me the phone. I wish I was a cop over, and I would make it over there. I would, if there is a group of bobbies overseas that are dumb enough to let me be a cop for like a month out there, I would totally do just foot patrol with those guys just to see. But I will give them some props. It was a good outcome. You know, I mean, these people are living under the king's rule here, so it's a little different for them. But you know what?
Half points.
Yeah, I'm gonna give half points. Oh, not that. There you go. Half points. Just doing accents again. Also, the cows.
It's the scene from Zoolander where they're trying to get the files out of the computer.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, Garrett. I also noticed I was about to mention the smart whip on the ground, just a random littering everywhere.
Silence in the street, calling police.
Cobblestone streets. I want to know why it took 30 cops to get this one guy.
Hey, shout out to them having the manpower though. That's a weird thing.
Clearly, there's no other crime happening.
Not a gun in sight though. Respect.
Yeah.
They got it done. They showed it can be done. And realistically speaking, and how many of these calls do we watch that a gun doesn't get discharged? So technically you never needed it to begin with, right? Like at the end of the day, like it's there, but you don't really ever use it. That's the reality for 99% of police officers will not discharge their firearm in the line of duty. Despite having
I want to know if we have a UK cop in our chat. Do they not have batons? Like, do the little yellow vesties not have batons? Like, are they a tier below?
Yeah, I wonder well, like, how many tiers are there? Is it like totally unarmed?
Because like, if you notice, the guys that had batons didn't have the vests.
Right. That's a weird thing. This is really embarrassing. Please stop filming. Probably. Having a glass breaker would be a good idea, especially if I don't have to carry a gun and magazines. The least I could have is a glass breaker with me, right? But yeah.
DWP, you missed the British video by like 10 seconds.
Dude, by like literally 10 seconds. Lake, what's going on, homie? He said,
Lake,
I'm a UK cop.
Do you get a baton?
Do you get a baton? Do all bobbies get a baton?
Mm-hmm.
Is the
yellow vest like long sleeves on the rookie where you graduate out of it?
Sorry.
Riverbank. A black Charger with chrome wheels.
Yes, RTCC. That Charger is about to turn southbound onto El Vista from Oakdale Road. It's the first car in line at the red, and I confirmed it with the license plate. RTCC, he just ran the light and went northbound on Oakdale Road. Just turned into the Save Mart parking lot. He ran another red light. He's away westbound in the lot towards the Save Mart.
Tuesday, confirming you have eyes on it.
Southwest police cops get the PCSOs. Okay, so it's a PCSO. So there are tiers.
Oh,
a PCSO is like you remember that Japanese video we watched where they had like the ones that like give directions.
Oh, it's like
and
a
sit in a little
courtesy
box.
cop more than anything.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So they deal with low risk stuff, and then they don't get a baton.
I mean,
actual police do.
Well, they were there. You know, shout out to them for showing up even without anything. God bless them for that.
That would suck if you're like that cop and you have to respond to some dude like
you're the backup. So
in
you're
a car,
just,
yeah,
that would be a bad time. I feel like they could still get glass breakers though.
Yeah.
And like a medical, because if I was them, I would carry an IFAC, like a big one. I'd carry like multiple, because I can at least provide medical. I'd even carry like weird stuff like electrolyte packets if it's like summertime and people are sweaty, stuff like that. Like you could be helpful. I don't know, Narcan, something. Better like because like you'll use those more than you will weapons 9 times out of 10.
Community officers do school visits and neighbor issues, so they're answering domestics. You should definitely have something to fight with.
They're also going to different domestics.
Unless it's like HOA, like measuring the property lines or something.
I hate y'all.
Okay, but that makes a lot more sense. Yeah,
That does, actually.
Yeah, I actually don't hate that system.
Shout out to Lane.
I remember when we were watching the Japanese video, I was like, this is not a bad system. It's just depends a lot on your society being mature enough for it.
I was going to say, in very homogenous, very high trust environments, totally see it, right? Have some 65-year-old lady that makes sure that your mail gets delivered to the right place, or if there's a mix-up that you can take it to her and she can get it to the right house, or, get us in contact of some city resources so we can fix something or whatever. But like Mega City 1 and stuff like that, where we work, where like your domestics were, my girlfriend ran me over with my car and you know what I mean? Like weird stuff. Like, I don't know, man. It's just different.
Stinker. So they have numbers in case one person does have a gun. That way they can use the old tactics, throw numbers at the problem. Yeah, dude, you
not the one. Step backwards. For those of you that get the reference, there's some guy,
and then you have one TAC unit in the back pointing guns at their back, so like they don't turn around.
Hey, camera, there's no retreating.
No retreating.
Not the one. I don't know. Somebody with a British accent hit us with it. Not one step backwards.
How are you going? What's up? Multiple units are out.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at that. Use your card. Good job.
Also, thank you, Steph. I love you. We're back with the accent. Back with the accent?
He's running across Oakdale Road, eastbound towards Starbucks.
Motivated.
Description? It's HOA, great top, light-colored watch shoes. Unit 10, stay with the vehicle.
Boy, you're on the ground. It's a tumble.
Let me see your hands. Now. You don't have a gun on you, do you? All right.
2-6, we're over here with the subject in East 1015.
Well, good on them. I do think like ancillary ways for dispatch to like watch, or like a third person to watch to get you good data is good, but I have mixed feelings about CCTV cameras. From first live stream I've made. Love y'all, bro. Well, thank you for the super chat, homie. Welcome. If you have law enforcement questions, ask away. Did you guys ever watch the Rookie episode where Tim chews out worse, figuratively, wets his pants in the perimeter when SWAT does cool guy stuff? Probably.
I don't think we did.
Maybe we didn't.
We never got to see him get chewed out.
Oh.
I wonder if it's one of the ones at the beginning of the season one that we skipped.
I'll give some points to dispatch for being helpful. And I guess municipal, I'll give you guys half points because you guys had a lot of help. Where are we at? What is this?
We just got a grenade.
No way.
It's hissing, it's hissing, it's hissing. Can we go ahead and call?
Well, run.
Free advice. Most grenades aren't legit, but there's a small chance it is. Maybe don't go yanking on like magnets and stuff on it. No, just leave it where it's. The less you move it, the better.
Also, if it's hissing, throw it back in the water. It ain't gonna do nothing there.
Josh in a kilt and a claymore, yelling freedom with the Spanish accent.
At 20K subs, we'll do that.
20K subs, baby.
And we're 1,000 away. Y'all start sharing.
Freedom a la verga. Stupid.
Law enforcement, get them out here.
Freedom way.
We were just about to call you guys. Are you on duty right now? We just pulled in a hand grenade that's live. All right, thank you so much. They're blocking off the street already, guys.
This your car?
You can take our lives, but you'll never take our modelos.
Second phone. Look what.
Make sure to take a picture.
Your phone, sir.
Did you handle it at all?
I took it off the magnet.
How did it feel? Did it feel wet? Did you feel like sloshing around inside?
It was solid.
So you happen to notice there was a hole on the bottom?
No, it did not look like there's a hole in the bottom when I took it off, but it was hissing a little bit. That's why we just sat down and walked away.
Hissing?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Tell you what, EOD's fit for duty. First live I caught Echo Warrior. What's going on, homie? My dad's retired LA sheriffs. Those guys work. Actual cops out there. Watch y'all's content.
You should ask him if he recognizes anybody in that Tesla video at the beginning.
And he loves it. Great. Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy the content. Well, also, thank the Pops for his service. That guy went out there and did real work. Anybody in LA County, like municipal or county, like, I had no envy of that position at any time. Maybe back in like the 1400s, it was cooler, but that's because there was nobody there. Blank, I have seen on call.
Twice.
Robert's motion. What are they talking about?
So that was the buxom brunette over here was seconding Phoner's motion, but that was not Phoner's motion. That was Robert's motion.
Oh, about the kilt.
For you to be in the kilt and the claymore.
Freedom. Stupid. I'm glad you guys made it. Thank you for the super chats, for monetizing what?
It's libertad.
Libertad. No, just Viva la raza. How stupid. That's more in canon there.
And it can't be a claymore. It's got to be like that Aztec club with like the
I was gonna say with the
spikes
glass.
on it.
Like yeah. I'll do it. I'll figure it out.
We should totally do that.
Emu's just harassing me with a turkey.
The turkey?
I'll allow it. I'll take
Is that
your
a
Canadian.
reference?
Your Canadian. What are they? Ruples? Up
Oh
there?
wait, is that from that? Is she harassing you because of that one video we watched that
Yeah.
didn't end up having a turkey?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry for making you work. Hey, we just got a
grenade. It's not a real
Fake
grenade.
Thigh Hunter, what's your question?
Yeah, fire it away.
Is it about grenades?
Society for picking up a grenade. Municipal, I'll give you some points for taking it serious. There it is. Full remake. Do a whole speech. Thick Thigh Hunter.
We did 300 when we hit 300 subs.
Hold on. Where'd it go?
Y'all should watch that. That has
We're taking 5 points.
way too few views.
For on-call requests. EOD Big Sarge. Yeah, he is. He was the biggest of Sarges. My boy didn't miss a meal.
In the heart of Miami-Dade, there's a team that works quietly, but with great precision to keep the community safe.
Are these guys hunters?
They are called the Special Response Team, or SRT. This elite team is prepared for anything, but their work isn't as easy as it looks. SRT is often called in for situations that are too dangerous or complex for regular deputies to handle.
This is a Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. Come on with your hands
Look
up.
at that, they got their
When a critical situation arises, the SRT is called in to execute high-risk warrants and manage complex, dangerous operations.
The primary. Now, I want to demonstrate something here real quick. So as everybody's going in buck wild, right? Homie back here in the back of the stack drew his pistol. Is he flagging dudes? 100%. We do have a nice finger off the trigger, so at least we're observing one of the firearm safety rules, which I'm okay with. But I will admit that when you're in this close proximity to this many people and you're doing a high-risk thing, you are going to flag somebody. It is going to happen. You should get chewed out for it, but the likelihood, I would be shocked in a real-life scenario, combat or otherwise, that when you have guns swimming around, that you're not flagging somebody at some point in time. Maybe on accident, maybe semi on purpose. You should never do it on purpose. Some thought could have been put into this, but a lot of guys, call them keyboard warriors, who have never done it before, tend to be crazy picky about this. And they're like, oh my God, like, how dare you? But that, like, the reality of it is he's not even thinking about this. This was a knee-jerk reaction for him to pull his gun because he's like, I'm in danger. And it's true. But good training and good reps should get rid of this, especially given the amount of lethal cover my boys got here. You're basically observing at this point, but I mean, shout out to him at least being in the fight, right?
The primary role of the special response team in the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office is to respond to high-risk search warrants, deal with barricaded subjects, dignitary protection when it comes to all the important folks that come visit our Miami-Dade County, as well as any incident that occurs that is beyond the scope of regular patrolmen, deputy sheriffs today. Then the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office Special Response Team responds to it.
But before they become part of this elite team, they must first endure a grueling process that only a select few can conquer, the Special Response Training School.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. What is this weirdness? So this is oh no, it's a BNT. This is like a BNT PCC. This is kind of weird. What a weird choice. I mean, mega based because they got that money. B&T is bougie. For a half second, I thought this was a Strybog, and I was gonna make fun of him. I was like, "You got all this money, but you went first. You fetched for a Strybog and couldn't do better." Never mind. I bless it. But it's a B&T that takes Glock mags. Shout out to them.
SRT 58, next mission, boys. All right, good.
This
what a bad time. So I was CS gas exposure. They typically make you yell something stupid to make sure that you inhale some of the gas. And yeah, you notice he started off strong and ended weak. Take me after I have lactose.
Intensive program is designed to push every candidate to their physical, mental, and emotional limits.
Selection is a 3-week process where candidates are put through a comprehensive training evolution that not only does it challenge them physically, but it also tests their mental acuity.
Becoming part of the Special Response Team isn't just about being physically strong. It's about being able to handle the most challenging and dangerous situations.
It's an 8-hour assessment.
What a weird setup. I can't tell if this is like a Noveski or something bougie like that, but this is an Ames. It's like a Hollow Sun red dot. Like, we ain't got Trichicon money. Like, we ain't got EOTech money. And it's a Steiner lamb, which they probably utilize night vision, so I'm okay with the IR device. But this vertical foregrip has got to go, brother. What are we doing here? Also an SBR. I suppressed. This is K-cans on an SBR is kind of a weird take as well, because SBRs tend to be like, especially with 5.56, like really loud. You got a lot of escaping gases. You're gonna want a full profile can. I have exactly what I'm describing in a bag, but I can't show it. You know what? That'll be for Patreon. You guys want to see it? Go join our Patreon group,
We need
or
to
become a member of our YouTube channel.
We need to do like rate my setup on our Discord.
This is a weird. Oh, but the Mega Based, he's got a 2011. My dog. Plus mags. He's probably got more rounds for this 2011 on his belt than he does in this 30-round mag for his AR. This is okay. I forgive him because this is pretty drippy. Like, you can see the grip safety here. You can also see like this the profile of the magwell that's a 2011. It's likely a staccato because these are 2011 mags. These are like 20 rounders too. My dog, 60 rounds of 9mm on tap in case this thing breaks, which it might.
Where we assess the individual for just their physical capabilities. Because at the end of the day, there has to be a base model. Once the 8-hour assessment is done.
I was gonna make fun of them for swimming, and then it dawned on me this is Miami-Dade, and like they're a hurricane away from having to do this. So I was like, I take it all back. I was like, bro, these guys are Navy SEALs, and I was like, wait, they might be asked to be, yeah.
Then we bring them to what we were
also kind of chuckling that these
Navy otters,
these poor recruits. You should give Rookie Blue or Flashpoint's been requested a bunch.
And we did do one of Rookie Blue.
Yes.
We have plans to do more Rookie Blue. If you have suggestions for specific episodes of Rookie Blue.
Pick them. Also,
please pick them for us.
Blue Bloods.
So I don't have to do that
apparently is totally happening. So eventually. Blue Bloods?
Oh, yeah.
Had
Blue
a
Bloods
lot
is
of
definitely on
requests
the
for
list,
Blue
too.
Bloods. Drop a like on the video.
We might also do a couple more episodes of 19, too. We got a very specific request for that.
My only complaint about old boy here is that we got to see these recruits, and they all look great. These recruits, very good shape. Clearly, they work out a lot. You're talking like 10% body fat or less. They're getting after it. I before this stream Did my 2,000 meter row because I'm slowly working my way to get back into shape because I'm old, fat, and retired, right? My boy, who's clearly a senior officer here on the SRT team, I'm not saying he's not kind of fit, but like our entire full-time SWAT team, shout out to Arlington. I had a bunch of complaints about my old police department, but there wasn't a single person on our specialized units or our SWAT team that was not like an absolute freak of nature. Like every single one of those guys were in incredibly good shape because everyone on the team was held to that physical standard, not just the rookies coming in. Policing is very guilty of this, where typically if you look at the special operations community in the military side of things, or even in infantry, if your job is to go out and kick doors and run around, they PT you to death all the time because you staying in shape is a unilateral requirement. In policing, you have to be in really good shape to get in, and the second you're in, they don't care at all. You can gain 400 pounds and nobody cares. This is indicative of that.
Referred to now as a 3-week selection. Selection is basically a gut check. It's important for me during that selection process that I see, do you have quit in you, or do you have perseverance and emotional maturity? Yes, we look at the unit and realize the history that we're protecting. The fact that we've had just over 200 officers come through the unit in its history since the early 70s is something that we need to protect.
These MP5s are drippy. Like the flashlight on front of it.
Yeah, I know. No kidding, dude.
And I think I get that through the emotional maturity of the individual.
See?
But even the most skilled officers rely on more than just their training. They depend on cutting-edge technology to ensure mission success.
I need somebody that can fly drone. I need somebody that can use wall penetration.
Yeah, look at all these guys. Heck, even the detectives here, except for old boy here. Like, these guys look great. Even fire looks great here. Look at them.
Equipment. I need somebody that can, has the dexterity to shoot and communicate, knowing that at the end of the day, there's a task specific. So during that selection, we're looking for your ability to display your intelligence.
To be in SRT, you have to have a tremendous amount of mental toughness, plus years in the thousands of police officers that have come through our about 200.
Oh my God, they have the OG like throat mics. Okay, I'm kind of jealous now. Anybody who's a nerd like me, there was Tears of the Sun, I think it was, with Bruce Willis. They have, I think they're Navy SEALs in that one, but they're going to go extradite somebody out of like some war-torn African country. And it was the first time as a kid I ever saw these, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Definitely like a takeaway from the special operations community where you could like whisper, but it would pick up your vocal cords. So you could be like extra quiet. It's super cool.
About 200 plus have been able to successfully pass selection and be brought to the unit.
A police video from 1981. My dog.
Send it in the Discord.
Send it in the Discord.
You just became a member. You should be able to now.
Yeah.
That's less than 1%. So we honor those individuals that have worked before us, and we wear this with pride because this essentially is who we are. This is our brand.
The badge is just an outward manifestation of the authority given to you by the desire for you to do for your community.
SRT, we had HRT with Fort Worth. They were more like this unit. Where I came from, we just had full-time SWAT. We had heat teams, which were kind of close to that. But these were just a bunch of 2-man units, like 6 or 7 per side of town. But SWAT was like a full, like 40-person team. It was basically 2 teams that were split within that. And then there was a bunch of part-time SWAT guys that were SWAT certified and like trained with SWAT monthly, but like they weren't on the full time. They still had to go do actual police work. But I do understand that the SWAT and these type of specialized units do things better than patrol can. Better equipment, better training, better fitness standards. To go do like the really hard stuff where you're having to go carry people out of buildings or jump in out of planes and stuff like that. They have those skills. And they're good. Shout out to Miami-Dade. Is that county?
Isn't that the one that's like kind of both?
like
They
both?
said sheriff's department specifically, so we'll.
I'll give it to county.
Yeah,
I'll give it to county.
they're one of those where because I think they're police is like Metro Police or something. It's like Vegas.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Keith, we're
I
here.
want to tell you about this noon. Two highway patrol troopers are on administrative leave. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. It started with an investigation into a deadly crash in October.
Bro, my boy has got like the squarest looking suit. And Miss Chu over here is just crushing it. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Got a really nice color here. Like she came here to work. He came here to retire and die. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you could pull him out of like the, not in a good way, but like out of the 70s. Like there's nothing interesting.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say out of the coffin because he like,
that too.
Looks like he got dressed by the freaking mortician, dude.
Like I only do like a 4 in the hand like tie like this too, but at least get an interesting one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Total aside. You know what? Hold on. Points from media.
Damn.
I'll take 2.
That's on the wardrobe department.
I'll take that.
October on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh. The findings resulted in the Wake County District Attorney's Office dismissing 180 cases.
Chelsea Donovan just spoke with the district attorney and joins us now live at the Wake County Justice Center. Chelsea.
Like they needed a suit with extra space for like.
All right, so after speaking with District Attorney Lauren Freeman, she told me that she got word last month from someone within the SBI that had concerns about 2 of these troopers that responded to this deadly crash up on Capitol Boulevard. That crash happened on October 7th, and she found some information through dash cam and body cam video that the responding troopers' information may not have been entirely truthful and credible as to what happened within that crash. Now, this is video of that deadly crash on October 7th of last year. District Attorney Lauren Freeman says she saw evidence on dash and body camera video that may have indicated Trooper Garrett Maricario could have been providing misleading information. Now, Maricario is 26 years old. He was hired on the force back in 2021. Freeman called him historically aggressive on driving while impaired cases, but as of this week, she's
kind of intense.
Had to dismiss all of his cases. So that means all of his cases in which he brought about charges. This is close to 200 cases. Now, also, his supervisor, 40-year-old Matthew Morrison, has also been put on leave by the Highway Patrol.
I think absolutely we believe that credibility among law enforcement is essential to the work that we do on a daily basis. And, you know, we need, in order to be able to seek justice, we've got to be able to trust our officers. And frankly, when we can't, you know, it's disgusting, and it results in us not being able to move forward and hold people accountable.
Now, Freeman told me that she anticipates dismissing the majority of Sergeant Matthew Morrison's cases as well. He's not on the road as much as Trooper Maricario, so she doesn't expect it's going to be a high number, like close to 180. This is an investigation that's just started. It's important to note, though, right now, neither of these troopers have been charged with any crimes. They're simply being investigated by the DA's office as well as the SBI.
I just wish we had more information than they weren't accurate in the information
they were dishonest.
That they put. Because Brady List, sure, right? If you're a prosecution, like if you're an attorney and you see this, you could put them on the Brady List, which should come with its own form of punishment, which it typically doesn't, unfortunately. But like, if they provided information to the state about the case and everything's documented, why not share it in the news report? Unless they just want a zinger. That's my only thing that susses me out about this story. I'm still going to take points because I've never had 180 cases kicked in my my tenure as a police officer. But yeah, we're going to take some points from State Boys here. Yeah, I'm going to take a lot. That's a big bad. But I'm also going to take some points from media for
that microphone.
Yeah, no kidding.
Part of the problem is they picked the busiest road that they could find, so she feels the need to yell.
I feel like, though, this lav mic really sucks. I feel like DJI's would do better.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is pretty terrible. Are you talking about ties in the chat?
Yes.
Y'all are too much.
We never moved on from the anchor at the beginning.
But yeah, that's pretty bad on the trooper's part. If you're shown, and this is kind of why integrity and honesty and all that stuff and transparency matters. That's why I like body cams. It's not up to you all the evidence that I need for my interactions there. And I'm okay with the accountability side of it. Go get them.
So you can't just come here and say, you know, I might want to work. Like, you just can't do that.
An American's plan to relocate to Canada without documentation is going south.
One of the more serious or severe options would be just sending you back home today.
Border Patrol.
And
I tell you what, Border Patrol is stacked. Look at this. My man is a meat stick and a half. My guy.
refusing you to enter for a year. However, I don't think I'm going to go that route because I don't think you've been deceptive. I think you've just really just uneducated on what you need to do and what you need to have.
It does appear, so yes.
So the other option I have available to me is what's called a visitor record, to visit. So you can kind of see if you like it or not.
Yeah.
And then you can go back home.
Yeah.
But I will limit your stay, so I won't let you stay 6 months.
Okay.
My final decision with the subject is to issue her a visitor record, giving her approximately a month to stay in Canada. If you don't leave by that date, a warrant for your arrest will be issued.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want that.
So you can't just come here and say, you know, I might want to work.
Okay.
You know what, though? It's the first documented case I've seen of someone trying to illegally go to Canada from the U.S. There is proof. So if anyone ever wants proof, right here. And she's extra stupid.
It happens.
Like at least like when our
if
people
Facebook
are
is to
trying
be believed, it happens after every single election.
right.
It doesn't matter who wins.
No kidding. No kidding. You know what? Canada seems like a nice place, though. Like as far as like it'd be pretty to look at, like to go outside and look at. I bet their air is a little cleaner. I'd want to go find a place where people speak English and not French.
Yeah, we just
French
avoid
people
Quebec.
there, that's what I'm saying. I've heard the French people there are not nice, but
that's like avoiding, a state.
Yeah,
but bigger.
But I'd go hang out there.
You could do Toronto. You could do like.
We're gonna take some points from society for this chick trying to illegally immigrate into the wonderful country of Canada. And
I will say that seemed, guys, that was like a reality TV show. So that seemed like super staged. The amount of cuts on her face while he was still talking was like, these are all from different times of her reacting to other things.
I do BC. I think my parents actually stopped through BC. They were doing a trip to like Alaska or something, and for some odd reason, there was a stop in BC, and they said it was gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Another trooper. Let's see.
Well, it's like Northern California. If it weren't for the taxes, I'd be like,
dude,
all over it. If the cost of living wasn't there.
We flew into San Francisco. This is for my honeymoon with my wife. And we drove to Yosemite National Park. Mm-hmm. And there was a while there. We stopped at a random Kroger. Maybe it was a Kroger. I don't know if it was a Target or something. But around it was just golden rolling
like a painting.
Hills. It was the strangest thing. And it was just perfectly golden. It was like hay fields or something, but I'd never seen anything like that. And it like swayed in the wind. That's before I even got to Yosemite, which is like split. I think it's I don't remember what's on the other side of, like, it's California's on some of it, and then there's another state touching it. I don't think it's Oregon. It's somewhere over there. But Yosemite was stupid looking. I looked like I was in like a fantasy novel. Like, that's how gorgeous that place. The weather was perfect. We drove down Highway 1 to fly out just to stay. We just picked a random hotel just to stay on the side of the coast. Gorgeous. The water was cold. Their beaches suck.
Yeah.
But
oh no, I love it. I like cliffy beaches. I don't want to go in the water. I just want to.
I tell you what,
look at it and drink whiskey.
It was so
and like,
cool.
I want Old Man in the Sea. That's what I want.
It was so cool, though.
I
California, God bless them. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. You still have Trudeau, right? I think they're still stuck with Trudeau. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I'll write a reckless ops citation to every goddamn one of you. Every single one of you. Get your boy on the horn and get him back here. I'll write every single one of you.
That's called retaliation and official oppression. You can ask somebody for their ID. You can do an investigation for a alleged offense of what you've on viewed, right? You don't get to like not on view an offense. But since that guy took off, you can't force them or compel them. It's called the 5th and 4th Amendment to give you information. And if you don't, you go ahead and take some sort of enforcement action. Depending on the state, too, reckless, they'd pull your driver's license. Like, you'd auto lose your driver's license. I'm cool with citing them all, right? Or saying like, hey, like a ticket citation's fine. But if you're, I don't know, dog, it's a weird look.
Every single one of you were called in for passing on the berm, passing in the middle. I know exactly who he is. I'm not playing.
It's not the one on the bike, though. No. I'm saying that he was asking me who I was on the phone with.
Get his ass back here right now. I want all your IDs now. Don't lie to me. I don't want your explanation. I want his ass back here right now. Give me your registrations and insurance and everything.
Also, my issue with the way that he's taking enforcement action is it's coming from a place of emotion. Bring back robot cops. I'm still team this because you could say that he has bias. It would be very, very easy to say, again, if I'm going to articulate like that this is a civil rights violation, that he is trying to compel these guys to snitch effectively, and he's predicating his enforcement action on their willingness to give him information that has nothing to do with their actions. It's somebody else's actions. It's like, you can't compel me to do that. It's not how that works. Yeah. So it's coming from a place of emotion. So it's going to be very easy to articulate to a reasonable person like a jury that he clearly has bias against cyclists, and that likely changed the way that he's taking enforcement action. You want to avoid that at all cost. What were you going to say, Juan?
He's also standing like someone taller and more muscular than he is.
Right.
His body posture is very much like
it feels like my mom's yelling at me. Also that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to take a whole step back.
Get it for me now. Helmet off. You know how many times you guys were called in by motorists? 12. Almost causing fatal crashes on my goddamn interstate. 12.
Who would they be fatal for?
Themselves.
So
sure.
like, you know what I mean?
So NED.
Oh, I like this angle. Juan, bro, Juan.
Y'all out here trying to kill yourselves.
You being petty. So were these guys likely on motorcycles being douchebags? 100%.
They fall off their bike, it's pedestrian to roadway.
Agreed. Right. You see that skin you left on the freeway? That's the proof I need. Pedestrian on a roadway. Do I think that these guys were being idiots? 100%. Am I okay with enforcement action on these guys? Sure. I'd cite them and tow all their bikes right now. No problem with that. If you did it based off the information that they were driving reckless, you issue the reckless citation and just tow it. And you say, now I can give you your bikes back, but this is going to be predicated on, because I'm already taking the enforcement action. I am going to take the enforcement action. Now, whether or not I take the bikes or not, that's a total civil thing. This is a procedural thing. I might have the authority to do it, but I could be cool and not. Maybe I could understand that type of negotiation tactic to maybe get that guy's information, but like, either you got it or you don't, dog. It's like worse than a knock and talk. But yeah.
All times, and then your boy wants to run you and tell me you don't know who he is? Every one of you is getting a reckless ops citation right now. And if he doesn't come back, every single one of these bikes is getting towed for your reckless operation. Every one.
Get a hold of
Get him back here, you can leave with a piece of paper. You don't get him back here, I'm taking your bikes. Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm still not down for that. And mostly just because it's again, it's the bias. If you treated every single time you interacted with that from a safety standpoint, like, you've shown that you cannot safely operate these bikes, and it's within my authority, if I'm going to issue a citation that I can tow the bike, fine. But treat every call like that. It's the big reason why, like, I got lectured a lot about not writing citations. It was so incredibly rare I wrote citations. Like, I'm talking, I had like a 15% or a 10% enforcement rate. Like, it was really low compared to the average officer. But for me, one, I had a bunch of poor people, so I just didn't want to deal with the warrants, right? They already had warrants, so why give them more? And two, most of the times that I was stopping for, it wasn't often a moving violation, it'd be safety. No headlights, no brake lights, stupid stuff like that, failure to yield. Or it was an investigative stop. There was warrants on the plate, and those warrants were tied to something like drugs or whatever, or I see them leaving a trap house. So I'm really looking for crime. I'm hunting, if you want to call it that. That I was really looking for what I knew was going to be secondary crimes. I didn't really care as much about speed. I worked at night, so there was no like school zones or anything like that. I didn't really care about motorcyclists doing wheelies on the freeway. I was like, I'll go work the fatality and laugh at you. That's fine. But like this attitude's just kind of, it's too much. And never, ever, ever was it, oh, I can't believe you. Like this is a demonstration of poor emotional control. And that is, I'd write him up for this, to be honest, if this was me.
Yeah. Also, Robert pointed out, how do you prove the guy that fled's the same guy? Like, how do you have any positive ID on anybody that comes back?
Exactly. Guy's an idiot. Troopers losing more points. Let's go.
That's why they took his hat away.
Yeah,
anger management.
Probably. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's just a bad look. I have no problem with the enforcement. I even have no problem with them towing. Like, I get it. Motorcyclists do dumb stuff. But, like, the whole thing's weird. Taco Bell dispute.
I think I added this one. This was so dumb.
Closed parking lot to eat your tacos?
How far away is Taco Bell? Oh, you can see it. This is going to be better for the video. You can see Taco Bell.
Is there a reason that you picked this parking lot, though? Like, you couldn't go home?
I'm not going to answer any of your questions.
How you doing, sir?
Howdy.
What you got going on, brother? You know you're part of a closed business, right?
Can I show you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're familiar with this brand?
No.
You would identify that brand as Taco Bell?
Okay, I see the order ahead. Okay.
Yeah, see, you see the consumed Taco Bell in the bag?
Right, yeah.
All right, we're doing some detective work here, right?
Okay.
And if you turn behind you, there's a Taco Bell, and so I drove from Taco Bell, and then I ate my Taco Bell.
Okay.
And I was in the process of eating my Taco Bell when I was stopped by your officers. So, am I free to go?
Well, not right now. We're trying to get your information from you, sir.
What's your name and badge number?
It's Sergeant Baldwin.
He's a sergeant.
This is a closed business.
Right.
It's considered loitering and prowling. You can't be part of that closed business if you're eating your food.
So this is like a city ordinance, I'm guessing. Is this Derek? So municipalities, so the state dictates what's illegal and illegal, right? So the state of Texas, the state of Oregon, the state of whatever, they write your big, thick penal code book. And you were not, yes, kid, don't get excited. Clip it. But you were not allowed as a municipality to like make more laws, like more stuff illegal on top of that. Now you can create punishments, right? Or you can like restrict that, like you can close parks early, have some level of enforcement action, but there's something already codified in the law to do it. Not saying there's not a prowling or loitering clause. There are a lot of those, right? But it's a really big gray area between loitering, prowling, and then eating your Taco Bell really quickly so that you're not driving and eating at the same time, which we could all collectively agree would be worse behavior, right? Josh said big, thick penal code right as I showed up. Bill, I love you and miss you.
He knew you were coming.
That's what she said. But they're detaining him for the prowling, I guess, or loitering thing. And so that means that they would be wanting to take enforcement action on it if they're taking his information or at least doing a report on it, right? The only thing I have with this, though, is if you show up, you see that the guy's eating Taco Bell. This is how quickly you could solve this. I've already ran the plate, right? So I already generally know that there's a plate here. I know where this car returns to. I've seen the driver in there. I just showed him, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm eating Taco Bell. All right, deuces, dog. Whenever you're done, just make sure that you try to vacate this empty business. There's a thing here for loitering around empty business. We're worried about people breaking in. We've had an issue with that in the past. I don't need your name. I'm not detaining you, nothing like that. Just notifying you that other officers might approach you if that's the case, especially if you're done eating your Taco Bell. Because then, like, now you're just hanging out, which I get. But it's a public access, like, parking lot. I don't know. I could see both. Getting approached by law enforcement is one thing. But if, like, you're not doing the hanky-panky or something weird like that, like, They don't really have an offense. You're just in your. What happens if your car's broken down? What are they gonna like jail him for that? He's just waiting for a tow or something, or he locked his keys in his car after the business closes. That's my only beef with this.
Or whatnot. Simple thing is when they ask for identification, you're supposed to provide it.
Am I free to go?
No, you got identification on you.
I'm literally not going to answer any of your questions, so am I free to go?
All right, I'm gonna start it.
All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used as evidence against you.
The reason that you picked an empty, closed parking lot to eat your tacos?
How far away is Taco Bell? Oh, you can see it. This is going to be better for the video. You can see.
What sucks too is he's like actively eating his Taco Bell in this first interaction. So they're basically trying to get him for failed ID. Yeah, this is a pretty weak. As much as I want to say easiest lawsuit ever, it's going to depend on how that jurisdiction treats loitering, right? So if the DA's office says, yes, we believe that he meets the elements of the offense for loitering, they had a good detention, it's failed ID, he's going to jail for it, good luck. Conversely, from a law enforcement stand, I don't like the position this puts law enforcement in because you have situations like this. Do I think a loitering clause is good? Yes, because it is a good way to prevent break-ins, but the way it gets enforced, I think you need to exercise a little bit more discretion and kind of notice, oh, wow, guy's eating Taco Bell. I already have
next to a Taco Bell.
Right? Like, and I already have the plate run. If something stupid happens in that amount of time, right?
Clearly the Taco Bell's still open, so if he had just parked the Taco Bell parking lot instead of a parking lot over, this is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, technically, according to the loiter, because that would be an open business as opposed to a closed business. But like, and that's kind of what I mean is like it's a kind of a game of semantics.
Yeah,
at that point,
this is the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law situation here.
And again, just like Trooper Boy, like leverage a little bit. Now, if there's other things around, like let's say I ran the plate, this guy's got a crazy amount of call history, right? Like BMVs. It's like domestics, like PI arrests or whatever, that this guy's going to be a problem moving forward, then maybe I'll push the envelope for something like this. So there's not enough context to know.
Or also, like, what if that specific business has constant problems with homeless people hanging out and that kind of thing?
Yeah. Or that this guy's CT'd from a bunch of places, so he tends to do this very often, and then he screws with the business or whatever it is. Like, I don't know. It's neither here nor there. But I do think that there was probably an easier way to do this, but I don't know.
Bill asks, are there no loitering signs posted?
That's another thing. Because it would have to be, because it's a city ordinance at that point. Obviously, we can't tell given the this is the only angle that we get of it. But they didn't give enough context for us to say that it is or it isn't. But there are, at the municipal level, the easiest example I can give is parks. A lot of city parks have like, hey, after 10 p.m. or after sundown, you can't be there. Law enforcement's going to approach you. At the very least, have a conversation. Typically, if they left, I didn't care. Now, if they chose not to leave, now you're knowingly and intentionally being in a place where signs are posted that you can't be there. It's a very different discussion. Then I'm team that. But this guy's an idiot. They just could have gone about at least articulating it, right? Like on the thing. No, it's posted here. You can't loiter. Do you see that sign? I know you can see Taco Bell. You're done eating Taco Bell. You don't have any other reason to be here. You need to leave or you're going to jail. That's simple. Articulate. You make a song for articulation.
The LA County Sheriff's Department is facing a federal civil rights lawsuit after a deputy allegedly shot at a group of unarmed black teenagers. The incident happening last summer, and tonight the mothers of those teens and their attorney are speaking out. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher with the latest.
The attorney for these young boys says it was a long, drawn-out process to even obtain the body camera video from this incident. A year after it happened, we're hearing from the mothers of these young men who watched it all unfold for themselves for the first time today.
Yeah, this is definitely tough for us.
Taisha Brooks holds back tears as she reflects on this moment.
Keep your hands up! Keep your hands up! Left rear passenger, keep your hands up!
Watching that as a parent, and I was not even there, I felt so much pain in my body and hurt. And then as a parent, you're like, wait, if I'm feeling this, my son is going through this even double.
Brooks' son was one of 3 teen boys pulled over by LA County Sheriff's deputies with the Lakewood station on June 7th, 2022. One of the deputies shooting into their car.
That was an ND.
Yup.
I was like, pointing's fine. Like, I don't see the shot, but like, it's right when she drew. Oh.
One of the deputies shooting into their car.
Didn't even have a full grip. Baby girl, what are you doing?
It was a SIG.
It was an M&P.
Not her fault. Yeah.
That's the worst part. It's a good old Smith & Wesson. Let's see it. Oh, yeah. Oh, with the Surefire X300. Bougie.
One of the deputies.
Yeah, dude. She's cooking it off right there.
Shooting into their car just as her body camera activates. You can see the gunshot in the rear window.
Did the gunshot activate her body cam, do you think?
As it should.
Hear the deputy's reaction.
Oh my God, that's all I needed.
Awkward.
All right, let's just start pulling out. They said they're all okay, and then we'll... If we put it out on the radio, it's going to cause chaos.
The young...
It's all good. I already have an emoji for this.
LASD, is this municipal? Or is it? I feel like these are county. Hopefully this is county.
Where's the... What was it? It was McStag, I think?
Young man were
His dad was...
compliant.
Yeah, he retired at the right
they
time.
were told to put their hands in the air, and while their hands were in the air, a sheriff's deputy, Deputy Acuna, shot through their windshield.
The way the glass broke, it was so close to him that it scratched up his back, bleeding all over his back. His shirt had pieces of glass in it.
The families of the 3 teens have now filed a lawsuit seeking compensatory and punitive damages for civil rights violations.
Now, here's where this discussion is going to get interesting. It was negligent, and I think you could articulate that it was a negligent discharge as opposed to a willful shooting, right? Nobody also got injured, so it's purely off of the, like, you notice like they have been coached because there's I don't want to call
lawyer's job.
Yeah, I don't want to call them ambulance chasers, but there are attorneys that get very wealthy off these things, which I'm okay with because we do need people to hold police officers accountable. But they were told to say these things cause them pain because pain is a prerequisite for basically payments. It's what is it called? In
compensatory damages?
There's some sort of damages, but basically it's like emotional distress damages or whatever.
Yes.
They're told that they've been coached for this whole situation, right? I think if they admit it's negligent, because it totally was, then it probably reduces the amount they could get in a settlement. But a settlement's definitely coming out of this, as it
also,
should.
would this be a lawsuit for the department or a lawsuit for her personally?
So that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting at.
Is it LD causing you to lose qualified immunity on this?
Right, because it's negligent. Like you didn't intend to shoot, but clearly like you violated one of the rules of firearm safety, right? And cooked one off. I think they're going to say she was not good on department policy for these are cooperative suspects, right? Can't just cook a round off. On top of that, there's likely when you cook a round off at the earliest time, you should notify dispatch, so on and so forth. Also, if you have an ND, you ain't calling the scene anymore, girlfriend. Like, go take a back seat before you hurt anybody else. And like, oh boy over here should have been the one running the call, or somebody else should have ran this call the second girl's cooking rounds off. You lose all of your authority there when you can't even unholster your gun without hurting somebody. I don't know. But that might shift it from the department says it was against policy. You fire her for the negligent discharge, potentially causing like death to somebody else. Like clearly this is something we have to be able to trust you with, which is drawing your firearm. Every times I pointed a gun at somebody in my career and never once on accident pulled the trigger. You know what I mean?
Always on purpose.
Like that's kind of, I don't know. That's what I mean. Like the whole, I don't know, man.
They also say they want the deputy involved fired
Agreed.
for actions that have forever changed the young men.
He doesn't go out anymore. He's very traumatized from what happened because he's scared that he might come across the police.
For Attorney Harper, where she wants change
Honestly,
is
probably
within
for the
law
best at that point,
enforcement.
'cause
Sheriff's Department needs some type of
he was not
reform.
ready
We've
with
seen
the
them
friends,
in the
clearly.
news almost every day this month, yes? So something is happening there.
She's savvy.
It's important to note
Somehow
that no
respect- game
criminal
respects
charges
game.
were brought against these young men. Now, we did reach out to
Likely they dropped the criminal charges. I'm not saying there weren't any, because you don't get that kind of police response without there being
No, that was a lot. That was after a pursuit.
Right.
Almost guaranteed.
Right. So that might also be the DA's office kind of screwing them out of being like, you know what, we can go ahead and clean our hands of this situation and just say no PC. But yeah, the round cooking off is not a
both
good
LA County and the Sheriff's Department for comment, but neither could comment on pending litigation. The Sheriff's Department, though, confirming that Deputy Acuna is still employed and on active duty. I'm a
Here it is. Where'd you go? There's dog. What an L. Come on. We're going to do prosecutors too. I'm actually going to take some points for y'all for not keeping the charges. That's stupid. Negligent discharge or not, whatever behavior they were doing that caused a pursuit and this much police involvement needs to also be amended, but
well, clearly it was. Hobie is not leaving the house anymore.
Yeah, he's traumatized.
You can only
Behavior altered.
Listen, peacekeeping objective achieved.
I guess you're right. Yeah, not impressed. I'm shocked they didn't at least put her on administrative leave. I would have been annoyed at paid administrative leave. It really should have been unpaid. It's like, look, dude, like that's a very simple function that officers accomplish. I would argue probably millions of times a day. American law enforcement is pulling a gun out of a holster or out of their trunk or out of whatever millions of times. And magically no negligent discharges unless it's a SIG. But but the dog.
Or it's the suspect's gun and you're taking it out of their
gosh,
pants.
dog, you started. Also, well, that was a Glock, but still. Oh.
You can't be walking your dog right now.
Free country.
This is
Sheriff's Department.
Sheriff's Department.
Sorry, sir, you're broken tonight.
Maybe a little bit of
Sheriff's
RTC.
Department. Anybody inside?
Hello? Anyone inside?
Yeah, bud.
Oh, that's a fire.
Sheriff's Department. Anybody
This
inside?
is like during the LA
Just
fires.
like monitor, looking out the windows to see like where the fire.
So the city's on
shoot.
fire.
Yes, sir. Copy that, sir. I'll give you a call right now.
Oh my gosh.
There it is.
Hey, let's have some urgency.
Sheriff's
yo.
Department. Anybody inside? You gotta evacuate. Hello?
Hello? Where you at?
Where are you?
Hello?
I hope the staff for this senior center get charged for negligence.
For forgetting somebody?
Bro, how do you not know, dude? Like,
I wonder if they did know and they called the deputies
They
to be like,
notified.
hey, he's refusing to leave.
But then you tell him
and we
which
can't like
rooms.
physically.
Yeah, you tell him which rooms. NED for trying to harm yourself. Or whatever. It's a free country, I guess. Go the Canadian route. Just call it free made.
Where are you?
There's more than one absolutely big
Oh,
old
hi!
lawsuit everybody fired.
Mega Burger, what's going on, homie?
Okay, perfect. Is there anyone else with you?
No.
Okay.
Where were you at? What?
Which room were you from?
If it's a sign, it's just discharged while still loose.
I can find a way out.
Let's get you out of here.
Come on, girlfriend, let's go.
Where do I go? But don't lose me.
I promise
No,
I
we
won't.
won't lose you. Don't worry. Okay. Thank goodness. We've been yelling. Did you hear us?
I
Okay,
didn't
you don't
hear.
need 15 officers
I'm
to do
deaf.
this. Take
Okay.
one.
And I'm going to
Keep searching.
charge my hearing aids. Oh, I'm 100.
I'm 100. What a Chad. Or I guess, what are we going to call a female Chad? A Chelsea?
Sure.
What a Chelsea. Deputaz for stepping up. I'll give you some points today. And then Worst Society. Yeah, I'm team. I'm gonna put them straight to 0. Don't be leaving people. Come on now. Hey, Los Angeles County, LA County. Make it up for it, baby. It's kind of a layup, but. Oh, what is this? I'm going to open that in another tab. No. Get to that one next. Oh, Lord, that's a fire.
Can we get in through the window?
What a Chelsea.
They got a hammer? No, oh, that was good party.
Hold on. Did I see what I thought I saw? Tell me why these deputies here are going to this house to save this dude from a burning building, and there's a fire engine right there.
I was wondering what you were pointing at. I'm looking at his duty belt going like, what's wrong with his duty belt?
Quite,
scene's not secure, Josh.
Quite literally one job.
Scene is not secure. There's still a fire.
Clearly.
It's dangerous.
Where's
second responders?
Gosh. Where are these losers? Bro. One job. That I find that so upsetting. That's a fire, dude.
Let's see if we can move him.
Why is fire not assisting? I just can't.
The man was transported to the hospital on a bed sheet, probably.
Fire's on scene. This is EMS. I bet this isn't even fire.
Also played a critical role in this. Look at that. You like how they had to be told that. No. You got to tell them we participated too. Otherwise people can be mad at
the
us.
scene is not secure. Dog, for real. Busy looking for a hydrant or something. Dog, for real. That. Wow. Big fail. Oh, hold on. Control Shift. Was it T?
They're firefighters, not fire rescuers. Okay.
Right. Who's this? Fort Myers Sheriffs. Hey, they're getting some points back, baby. You know what? No. That was a good. They did good. What is this?
Now, breaking news from NBC4.
A probationary officer with the Columbus Division of Police has been fired after police say she was involved in a fight at a Short North bar. The now former officer's name is Amber Blackburn. According to her personnel file, she was with the division for nearly 2 years. NBC4 crime and safety reporter Anna Hoffman is here with more details on this. Anna?
Jared, in the termination letter from now former probationary officer Amber Blackburn, it says she was seen in surveillance video assaulting 3 separate people. The records say this incident happened around 1:50 a.m. Sunday at the Town Hall bar in the Short North. Blackburn was off duty at the time of the incident, but according to officers who were working special duty at the bar, they were approached by a manager and asked to remove a woman from the bar for inappropriate conduct. The officer said they walked into the bar and saw Blackburn actively fighting with another woman and learned that she was the person that manager was talking about. The special duty officers described her behavior as erratic, belligerent, and highly intoxicated. The records say the officers asked Blackburn and another man to leave. They say the man left without incident, but Blackburn refused and had to be escorted out. The statements say she was throwing punches while she was being escorted out. The records say surveillance video shows Blackburn assaulting 3 separate people. Apparently, 2 of those assaults happened while she was being restrained and taken out of the bar.
No footage?
Lame.
Media. That's my people, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. CPD, Columbus Police.
I tell you what, females be taking L's today. Do better.
Well, not all of them. Well,
do better, ladies.
Municipal ones, yes.
No. OND girl was county.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
I was thinking of fire. I was thinking fire. Firefighter girl.
Gosh dang it, dog. Bro, we got some ladies taking L's. Y'all are not doing good.
The request for Blackbird's termination was sent to the chief the next day after the incident. Her officer probationary period was set to end next month. I received a statement from the Division of Police which reads in part, anyone who violates their oath will be held accountable.
Good on them. Fired her.
Mm-hmm.
She crushed.
Oh, but he's talking about the firefighting girl, not this girl.
Oh. Big Sarge holding it down.
Ready? Yeah.
One job. I wonder what old boy's marksmanship score is at the range.
Yep.
Play it again. Play it again.
Shit.
Oh no.
There's only one person in this guy.
I think the other officer got hit with it. The second one.
That is so funny. Yeah, he 100% got tased.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh no.
I think it got him in the leg. It got ripped out there at the last second, I think. That's so funny. This is my people, isn't it?
Yep. Yuma PD.
Oh, all these people getting tased. I'll take 5. It's funny, at least. Idiots. Alberta RCMP. Let's see if there's some short
it's
ones.
Canada again.
We had a call in regards to this client, a female girl that her family was feeling like she was not taking care of herself. She was not compliant with medication, and she was starting to struggle a little bit. So the family had actually talked with us in regards to how to get her into a facility where she could be assessed. We educated the family in regards to how Form 8 works in regards to mental health, and they went out and seeked that through the courthouse. Myself and John apprehended the young lady and transported to the hospital. She understood why she was going there, and she did recognize that she needed help. So that was back about a few months ago, about 2 months ago. And now the family's got a couple concerns. We actually ran into her the other day when we were down at Canadian Mental Health because she is following through with some of the outsourced resourcing that the hospital provided her. But the family just has a couple questions and a couple things that they want to check on. So we'll be going to her residence and just doing a check-in, see how she's doing, and be able to provide her with some more resources or avenues of therapy or mental health, and just see how she's doing. So it'll be good to just do some follow-up here.
So I was a mental health certified officer, if you want to call it that. We went through pretty extensive mental health. I wasn't an MPO. We had like mental health peace officers, which was a whole extra set of training that you could go to. But everybody at my department was required to take, we took like 30 hours worth of mental health specific training for NEDs, de-escalation, recognizing mental health like issues. That's why like you'll notice that like we use very specific clinical terms when we're trying to evaluate somebody, is because we often had to put those both in our reports, but it was also in the tactics that we applied, like, hey, this isn't just somebody that's high. This is potentially someone suffering from something either acute or chronic as far as stress or whatever. There are a lot of resources on the nonprofit side here in America. Most of them are either done in the form of like programs. So you have like some government programs, but you also have like a lot of like nonprofits that offer like call centers or stuff like that. But like straight up interdiction plans, I guess, or facilities, there's none of that here. Most of it's going to be an officer showing up and checking on you. We didn't do welfare checks unless there was something immediate. If not, you had, I guess APS could do it, like Adult Protective Services, but there wasn't really like a good mechanism for this outside of, there's actually a lot of church groups actually that do weirdly like a very good job of having support group networks that'll go and do basically like a reach out to people, go check, go bring them food, obviously like pray for them, and that's going to be for some people, not for others. But like, I do think that is something unique, probably not unique to America, but that is unique at least to the South, that you pretty much can't go to a Texas city without seeing at least 5 churches.
Yep.
And that oftentimes, especially if you look at like some of the more institutionally organized ones, you can look at like the Catholic Church, Baptists, like pretty much across the board. There's these huge financial networks that do pull resources for this stuff. And they'll actually pay for not just like a pastor, but they'll even have like clinicians that have like the expertise to go and do, because it's a little bit more complicated. Yes, I believe in the power of prayer, but more specifically, you do need like specific coping mechanisms you do have to empower these people with for them to get better. Unfortunately, they also have to make the decision to want to get better. And that's, I think, lost on a lot of people. You can provide all the resources you want, but kind of like I said, you can't save everybody.
All we're going to advise is that we stop by and that you seem better than before and that you're doing well. We're just here for you.
You don't have to tell them anything. You can phone us and say, hey, you know what? I've got some stuff going on.
Sure.
No, and you phone us, and you know that. We have a
it's a pack nurse.
We can figure some stuff
Interesting.
out. If counseling ever doesn't work, maybe you need to be nice.
That's actually mega rad. So this is medical personnel that's going with him. So he's simply escorting. So he has the legal authority under law enforcement, because we call them emergency detentions here in the States. I don't know what they're called in Canada, but they actually have a clinician that's going out as part of that task force. That's pretty rad, actually.
RPAC stands for Regional Police and Crisis Team. It's a partnership between an RCMP officer and a mental health therapist. RPAC was created back in 2011, recognizing the need for a collaborative service responding to Albertans experiencing mental health crises.
Right now in Central Alberta, we just have a PAC team here in Red Deer servicing the citizens of Red Deer. So what it is, we work in partnership with Primary Care Network. They have a registered psych nurse alongside. So we have 2 teams, myself and another member. I have a nurse working with me, a registered psych nurse, and the other team has a registered psych nurse as well. We take lead on mental health calls, and we assist the community in dealing with these complex kind of nature calls. At the end of the day,
that's actually pretty rad. So the cool thing about this is you're taking money, manpower, and resources to deal specifically. We do these with DWIs. We actually had a mental health unit. They did something similar. We had what we called victim services, which they had to have their own bit of like specialized education for like crisis intervention. It's very similar to like a social worker, basically, that would piggyback on calls. We also had these that we could ask. We had on-call ones that if I worked with a domestic and I kind of saw that there was something a little more chronic going on, I could call them and they would bring about city, state, and local or like nonprofit resources to bear. I had somebody I would work a domestic with, and they would get them moved out of the city in an apartment and with a job within like 2 weeks. It was crazy how fast they would work sometimes if they were cooperative and these people qualified or whatever. But we had actually a very similar program, but we didn't have like a specific task force for it. This is pretty cool.
Today, police officers have a lot of hats to wear. And one of those, which is getting increasingly demanding on police officers, is the mental health aspect of things, right?
So my name is John Williams. I'm a registered psychiatric nurse with the Red Deer Primary Care Network. And as a psych nurse with the Red Deer PCN, we have a partnership with the Red Deer RCMP to be a mobile mental health crisis response team. So part of my job as a psych nurse is to do on-scene clinical assessments, mental status exams, and when a person's in crisis, and figure out what the best course of action is for that individual.
So the only complaint I'll give to my nurse here is you have a plate carrier, but you don't have medical on you. Like, you're a nurse, dog. Like, you're the most qualified person you could ever dream of having on scene. And if you're showing up to a welfare check, this is why they have a vest on and stuff like that. These people could have already harmed themselves.
To be fair, psych nurse.
No, I'm with you, but there's still going to be like you're still going to be able to identify and see anytime you're in any capacity able to interact with patients. Now I get it if maybe they have a delineation where it's just psych nurse in the sense that it's only for the mental health side of it. They don't have any like medical background, then that's fine. But to think you would cross certify, you might as well. They're there. It's faster than EMS, you know, unless they just get EMS to show up, I guess. But I had medical on me as a police officer because there were times where I showed up and I was like, whoa, we've already gone down the street and not across it. Like, I don't intervene now. This person's a goner way before I can call the scene secure or whatever. Happened to me more than once where we're kicking in a door and I'm not about to go and like intubate somebody, but like, I at least had the medical expertise and the medical equipment available. Not even for that. I mean, for a police officer, how many times I answered a stabbing call or a shooting call. Or there's no mental health component to this. It's just vice. Well, there's always a mental health component to it, but not enough to merit these kind of services. But like, I don't know, have something. I don't know, it's your job, you know?
And the most therapeutic approach.
Also goose.
So when a police officer responds on their own to a mental health call, there's a lot of unknowns. So they often don't know the mental health history of this person.
Right.
For instance, whether they have a diagnosis and are taking medication.
And a lot of that's protected information. I don't think a police officer has any business knowing that stuff unless it's very specifically pertinent. I'm glad that that's not a readily. We have, I guess it's just OSHA, right? Here for us. Who protects your, no, it's not OSHA.
HIPAA.
It's HIPAA. So we have HIPAA laws that prohibit just anybody finding out mental health or any health stuff behind it. And it's for discriminatory purposes and stuff like that, that they don't want people leveraging that against you. I think in most law enforcement.
Just your health insurance. That's fine.
Right. Oh shit. Right. They're allowed to do it. Well, no,
They
that's
can.
a whole other discussion. But for all the rest of us that are not supervillains, we shouldn't have to know because there's not really any reason to know, and that should be protected.
Things like that. They also simply don't have the expertise to conduct an accurate mental health assessment.
And that's you failing to train them. But I would rather have an officer be good at everything else and allow someone to specialize specific. Again, SWAT, we pay for all of them to have all the cool guy stuff because we're asking them to do something very specific and hard and difficult. Same thing here. Pay for expertise, but for people that have it.
And so having that partner there in those instances can really look at what's been going on for that person through their health history and how we can support them better.
And one of the benefits that I think we've seen throughout the time here is the ability for us to educate and work alongside the RCMP and do that on-site assessment where we can actually spend time with the individual. And if it has to be an hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, we can sit there, we can tease through the crisis, calm them down, figure out exactly where they're at, meet them where they're at, and have that discussion on how we can best help them in a non-judgmental way. I like to call it a therapeutic approach. But the benefit is that we have that time. We're able to relieve general duty members from...
What?
Was that a little med pack on the front there in that shot, maybe?
And have that discussion on how we can best help them in a non-judgmental way. I like to call it a therapeutic approach.
Look there.
Maybe.
But the benefit is that...
No, that's just... Oh, no, there's something there. It's like a little administrative pouch.
Yeah. I wonder
There's
if he
something
just
here.
took it off for
We
the
have that
interview
time.
and left it
We're
in the
able to
car just 'cause
relieve
it's an
general
interview.
duty members from the mental health calls and provide a clinical expertise to figure out exactly where that person is in their moment of mental health crisis. I think just having the knowledge of how actual mental disorder presents. A lot of people, I'll ask lots of questions in my assessment. Have you ever been diagnosed with anything? I do have access to avenues that allow me to look up the individual to see what their past diagnoses are or if they've ever been in hospital before.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So they only give access specifically to medical personnel, which is normal because like in a hospital,
mental
it's the
DC.
same- Yeah. Mental PC.
MDC, mental DC.
The psych nurse could be a difference in between a PhD and an MD. Oh, I could see that. I was just surprised that there's not a medical component to that because so imagine hyperventilation is a great example, right? Tachycardia is another way if you really want to get fancy, where you start to see very elevated heart rate. An elevated heart rate is going to cause through your autonomic nervous system, your lungs are going to be like, hey, I need to oxygenate more blood. So you're going to start like big deep breaths or worse, like super short, shallow breaths. But if you don't understand the medical side of it, well, could have ingested something. So let me ask that first, because if he ingested something, he's going to die. If he's already in tachycardia, right? Or maybe he's having like a different type of you might have like a stroke or something like that, the medical side of it will kill him right now. if he's just stressed out and having a panic attack, he's not going to die right now, but I need to make sure that I have the medical side of the fence taken care of first, and then I can address the mental health side of it. So typically if you go to an ER, right, something crazy traumatic happens, you're the victim of some crazy violent crime, we always address the medical side. Well, for law enforcement, it's the scene security side, right? I make sure you can't get hurt anymore. Medical's going to make sure that you're going to live to see the next day. And then you'll have follow-ups with mental health professionals to make sure that there's no like long-term chronic, like emotional things that you're dealing with. I can hear your dog drinking water.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Is like that's the only reason why I have a little bit of beef that there's not a medical component. Because even we got that training. They were very lucky with me that I had a lot of pre-med prior to becoming a police officer. But being able to suss out really, really quickly, this person's stemming because they're, going through some sort of acute emotional stress versus their skin is itching because they just shot a heroin or something weird like that. It could be the difference in between life or death for your patient. So like, that's kind of why I'd like to see that. Just because in a lot of instances, that's a very gray area and it's hard to fully provide complete service for that person. The mental health stuff's not going to kill them now. That's kind of the reason why I have issue with that versus the medical one will.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
trying to find if psych nurses. So my delineation is basically like, let's think about like a dermatologist. If you are on a plane and somebody's having like a anaphylactic shock, you bring the dermatologist. When's the last time the dermatologist had to even like apply
100%? Yeah.
Anything? And like a psych nurse to me seems to me like, okay, you were a nurse, cool.
Yeah.
Then you had to go through all this training to specialize. When's the last time you actually did any like the emergency medicine stuff? And from what I'm seeing on here, it looks like that kind of is the issue. Is like typically if they're wanting to work emergency medicine stuff, they have to then take additional training
there
to also be a psych emergency nurse type thing. So that might be the case. I do think that probably would be good for them to have at least the basics.
Because man, on so many
at least they have more know-how.
Right. Well, because you could sit there, you might not get the outcry until way after the fact. You show up, they're feeling kind of weird, they look kind of drowsy. Have you been sleeping a lot? No, I've been sleeping a lot. You seem pretty tired, lethargic. You want to sit down and have a glass of water? Here's some water or whatever. So you're kind of realizing they're saying a bunch of stuff that would lead you to believe maybe they took something. You're like, did you take anything? I was like, oh yeah. Took a whole bottle of ibuprofen. I was like, oh well. I'm not about to go care flight them from a stomach full of ibuprofen. But I just drank bleach or something crazy. Like, well, we got to expedite care now. That's all I'm saying is just like even the most simple of emergency medical training would make them a very effective tool here.
That's no different than working in a clinic or in the hospital or anything like that. And
Kimmo, what's going on?
It's highly beneficial because if I've never dealt with the individual.
Have you done a video on Super Troopers yet? No, not yet. Not on Super Troopers.
Or it's a new person to me to know that somebody's got a diagnosis of schizophrenia or depression or anxiety. It kind of helps, or if there's been violence before, how they've acted, in mental health care. It kind of helps prepare us. The flavors that we're going to hear in the discussion with me, and it helps us make a quicker assessment and be like, yep, that sounds exactly the same as their last hospital admission, or sounds a lot like their diagnosis, part and parcel, and just kind of, it really helps build a bigger picture to keep us safe, but not only us, but the individual as well. And that's the most important thing is how can we do this most therapeutically for that individual? Because quite often there's a lot of fear when, with police and the mental health and stuff like that. And that's what we're there to do is keep that therapeutic approach.
Okay, well, good on them. RCMP's regional, right? Like it's kind of like the feds, basically.
Would it be like county or state? Well, regional. So Canadians in the chat, tell us, how does it work? Is regional, would that be more like a state? Would that be more like a county?
Yeah, I'm giving 10 points, so somebody tell me. About to see a bunch of state, or county. Yes does not help
yes.
me. You buttholes.
Minus 10 points for vigilantes.
Federal.
Oh, federal. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
I gotta give feds points.
I'll give them 20.
Yuck.
And then I'm going to take 1 point from vigilantes for sass.
Don't mind trampling your constitutional rights. Consent to search but not destroy property. I've seen this happen frequently. The best example would be one I had where it was around Christmas. They stopped the car. They had Christmas packages. The officer took out a big Bowie knife, asked permission to search, slashed open the packages. Okay, they cannot destroy a container or render it unuseful, and that's exactly what they did. In another case I had, a guy was stopped. He was driving a 4Runner with California plates, and it had the spare tire underneath the car. Cops asked for permission to search the car. They did not ask for permission to remove the spare tire. What do? They remove the spare tire, and instead of trying to search the spare tire, sometimes they'll take out a tire iron and hit it and see if it's empty. None of that. They just took out a knife and cut it open. And the judge was horrified. The judge said, this driver is traveling through the Midwest on long stretches of the road where there might not be a gas station, and law enforcement has just destroyed his spare tire. This is unacceptable. Consent to search the vehicle that he gave was not consent to remove the tire and cut it open.
Yeah. Also, consent to search should never be given. You guys are idiots. Don't ever consent. But if you're going to consent, you can also revoke it at any time. Second, this guy pulls out a knife, I would immediately revoke my consent and make them get a warrant.
Yeah, as soon as they're getting close to your drugs, that's when you revoke it immediately.
Exactly. That's a constitutional.
No, not there. Right. I don't consent for that one.
Yeah, that's constitutionally protected. I heard deputies. We'll take some points here, and then I'm gonna say judges for being based. I guess. Negative. There we go.
Fafo said I was 100% right on how the nursing thing works. His wife is a nursing instructor.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you, dog.
And then I pinned that because I like seeing that I'm 100% accurate.
You're so stupid. You're so dumb. Charged with making a false report. Ooh.
Which way we send him? That way?
Okay, that way. Around the
Let's go this way, okay, buddy?
Yeah.
We're gonna do everyone.
So when you said you have a bomb, were you trying to get him in trouble?
No.
Okay. What did you think was gonna happen?
I thought everybody just wouldn't care and just it wouldn't be a big deal.
Okay. But you see what the problem is?
Can you question him without parents?
If I say to him,
yes. The only thing where this is going to get weird is because he's 11. So Texas state law, the threshold's 10 to even prosecute, right? Now with him being 11, so they're also trying to discern whether or not there's actually a bomb threat. So you do have some exigency to try to like mine this kid for information. To be like, yo, dog. The only thing
children yearn for the mines.
His right. His the only issue with his line of questioning that I do have is without having some sort of like child advocate, effectively, because he's 11. Is anything he's saying admissible? Even if you Mirandized him, like the likelihood that Miranda statement is going to be considered adequate for somebody that's that young. Also, minor, even if they were like 16, the Miranda statement you have to give to a kid is like 3 pages long. Like it's super long because minors have the ability to get their records expunged and charges dropped and all this other kind of stuff, or have the records sealed. There's like this whole extra step. I don't know how it is in Florida, but that's the way it is in Texas. I'm assuming it's a federal thing. This charge likely gets dropped just because he's a kid, but he's an old head. They don't care.
he has a bomb, or you have a bomb, and we're all on a bus. You see what the problem is? This. I have a very busy city, and we have, what, 10, 15 cops here? So there's other citizens out there that need our help. Medical, emergency, people getting fights, and they're calling 911. Even though you did this thing, people are still calling 911 for our help. And now we're not available to those other emergencies because we think we have a bomb here, right? And because of what you said, caused that alarm. Do you see that's a problem? All right. How about you?
Oh, yeah, they cuffed him and everything. Wow. I was about to joke. Put him in cuffs.
Okay. My very first arrest, I'll give you guys the full story time, was like a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old deaf girl for essentially the same thing. But she like threatened, it was like a prolonged thing where she was like sending text messages that somebody was going to go and like shoot up their school. Like it was a whole thing. It wasn't just like a random utterance. This was electronically documented. It was a whole thing. I cuffed her to the front though, because she was 12, and I'm not trying to do all that.
And then you try to be able to sign back.
Yeah.
That she understood Miranda.
Yeah, exactly. This is too much.
Yeah. Well, what was who's the shit? Was it in Florida also? I think this is the is it Volusia that did the like perp walk for like the 12-year-olds?
So
yeah. All shackled to the feet too.
Hey, give him the full ride.
Dog.
You can have a seat on the bench anywhere you want to sit, okay?
Put his mugshot in a milk carton.
Do we want to have a negative consequence for this kid doing this? Yes. We want him to maybe suspension, maybe whatever. We'll talk to the parents, see what they want to do. There's a lot of psychology behind this, and Juan can probably back me up on some of this, that the only downside, unless we fully intend to prosecute this kid, right, for processing him like this, taking him to the jail, searching him, putting him in the shackles, making him sit in the thing, is that he could then identify with that lifestyle, especially at that age. You're doing it in front of his friends, you're doing it in front of his family, you're doing it mostly to him as well. He could then just decide that that is who he is, right? It's why you have to be really careful with kids at that age on labeling them like a fuck up or something crazy like that. I have warned plenty of times, like, dude, you're going to end up in prison if you keep doing this. Like, I've said that. You can quote me on saying that. I threaten kids all the time with that. But I wasn't going through I might have handcuffed him right then and there. But we're not doing the whole ride. I'm not going to make a show of it. I'm also trying not to put this kid's face all over the internet, right? Because like it can be really formative, like to their like upbringing, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I have mixed feelings on it. I do want to see a consequence. I do believe, heck, I believe in spankings. Okay, like I'm that kind of person. But like there is something to be said about being careful about how you approach it. The lectures may be enough. The parent, obviously, should be.
Yeah, lecture up as parent probably does it.
Right. Or at least having it being embarrassing maybe in front of the parent, because that's supposed to be like a safe space for the kid, right? But like in front of the kids and in front of the teachers, and then obviously like publishing this.
Well, yeah, he's probably going to get bullied for this for
what I'm getting
now.
at is you get to be known as that has negative consequences moving forward, that you're now trying to be a better version of yourself. You're trying to go ask a girl out, or wait, aren't you that guy? Aren't you the bomb threat kid? You know what I mean? Like, and so that can put him down a really dangerous path where you're effectively creating a criminal effectively. Like that's, I don't know. County, you get 1 whole point for at least doing something about it, but I don't know that I agree with you.
That's a good pin.
Just like spankings. I turned out fine.
Hey, you got 100?
Huh?
You do 100?
Yeah. 20 right here.
That's it.
Over the last 2 decades, I've come across some dumb criminals like this fella right here. You know, we're working a multi-agency task force targeting those peddling poison in our community. We rolled around the corner and this idiot sells us $100 worth of crack cocaine. Now, keep in mind, I'm in an unmarked vehicle with lights on it. So even though it's an unmarked vehicle, you know it's a cop car. There's a computer stand in there. I have a radio, my police canines in the back, and I'm wearing a vest that says sheriff on it. He gives us $100 worth of crack, and I'm just like, I can't get over this. There's a car behind us. I pointed to him and said, hey, go get the rest of the money from him. He turns around, they jump out on him, they take him into custody. But again, I've seen some dumb criminals. That has to probably top the cake.
Hey, you got 100?
Huh?
You do 100?
That is pretty bad suspecting. We're suspects. I'm gonna take 20. I'll give county some point. I don't like unmarked, right? But it's a task force.
I mean, if you're wearing the vest that says sheriff on it,
like, is it really entrapment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll give him some points for creativity. Last 2.
Commit a theft.
Apparently, you skipped the video with a turkey.
Technically, that's what I think, but I don't have enough.
Does she have any means to pay for items she had?
DM it.
I don't know. I haven't searched her purse yet.
Maybe go that route.
Oh wait.
Today's video is about Whitehall Police Lieutenant Dustin Willis. On October the 7th, 2021, when he was still a sergeant, he arrested Miss Luana Southern and charged her with a felony as well as a misdemeanor when he did not have the probable cause to support either charge. She spent a week in jail on those charges. The felony charge was eventually thrown out when a Whitehall police detective looked at the case and added the following note. Case closed. The case does not meet the elements of a theft. Suspect never attempted to leave the store with the merchandise.
Crazy for explaining elements of the offense. That's why I always say I don't like confronting people in the store because they did not pass the last point of sale. God, add that to the commandments, dog. Like, I can't stand it here.
10 cop commandments.
Yeah, dude. I never saw this video. Oh, okay. We'll get to it.
Here's what Sergeant Willis wrote in support of the arrest. The defendant loaded up a cart with $1,069 worth of merchandise. She left the cart and tried to exit the store. She had no means to pay for the items. But Sarge, she didn't.
That's not enough, dog. Criminal trespass from the store, and maybe if it was like a perishable item, so you got to imagine if it's like steaks or something crazy like that, where like they can't resell it. You would go actually under criminal mischief, not under theft, because she has deprived the store of its use. She didn't actually try to take it. That would stick, but that's called knowing how the hell to do your job. She got cold feet. Yes.
Try to leave the store. She left the store without the merchandise. You knew this, and you wrote exactly that on a separate report. Why did you change it to tried to leave the store on the actual criminal complaint?
Sus.
Okay, she loaded a cart and did not have the means to pay for the items, then left them in the store, but she was still charged with a felony? No, I'm sorry, that's not how this works. The officer who initially detained Luana tried to help Sergeant Willis, but Big Sarge wasn't having it. He ordered the officer to make the arrest.
86 to 100. What are you doing with her? Stand by. Here's your purse. She's been trespassed from Walmart.
Yeah. Literally what I just... It's like I'm a subject matter expert.
She's been trespassed from Walmart. No, code 3. All right, hold on one second.
What?
Go ahead and put that down again.
Why?
Go ahead and put it down.
Why?
Put it down.
Why are you doing this to me?
My boss is telling me something different. They got something else they need to talk about. I'm going to talk to my boss about what's going on, okay? My girl, the initial one that we were watching.
So he called it in and
She
told him, like,
left
no,
everything, was
her?
leaving the store. I just detained her to get her identified. She did a theft in Newark, so they identified her for Newark and passing that information to Newark. But we don't have a... Liana Southern? Do we have anything on her, the past other side?
On the farm, I don't know. He was still...
Okay, but she wasn't, that's the same car though?
Yes.
Gotcha.
All three were in that car.
Okay, I got you. I thought that was a separate car from what
No.
Yeah, I'm tracking that. I'll go talk to you.
Now listen to his explanation of the probable cause.
So she was going to commit the theft, correct?
Technically, that's what I think, but I don't
Did she
know.
have any means to pay for the items she
Tom
had?
Cruise?
You are not the Minority Report.
Listen, the precogs back at the station said...
Golly, dog.
I don't know. I haven't searched her purse yet.
Big Sarge.
Maybe go that route. If not, if we can't do anything with the theft, then I guess we'll stick with drug theft.
Okay.
He's so unsure.
What does he think this is?
Oh, he got it. There it
Minority
is.
Report? Are we now arresting people for pre-crimes?
I'm placing you under arrest for future murder of Sarah Marks. Who the man is had.
The future can be seen.
She was going to commit a theft, correct?
So, he placed Luana Southern under arrest and charged her with felony theft, knowing full well she had not committed a crime. Now let's take a look at her second charge, possession of drug abuse instruments. Basically, he's saying that she possessed needles that were being used to shoot
Dude, by a long shot. By like a lot.
narcotics. Luana was apprehended while walking out of the Walmart carrying only her purse. The arresting officer searched her purse and did not find anything illegal. Sergeant Willis approached the vehicle Luana arrived in and found it occupied by two people.
And we are going hands-on with them. Why?
Just want to feel big and strong.
Even if she was, like, let's say she passed the last point of sale, right? And we were going to charge her with the shoplifting. Or maybe she was already criminally trespassed and she was there, so you're charging her with a criminal trespass and taking her to jail. Was this like criminal conspiracy? Is that what we're trying to go after? Like they drove her here to, I guess, dog.
He then searched the vehicle and found some needles. Listen to where he found them.
Well, while we get this figured out, are you okay with me looking in your car?
No, I don't want you looking.
Okay, very good.
There you go.
Where's that? Here, get back towards the front of my car.
Okay.
Or his
Okay.
car.
I'm gonna search this car. Where's the syringe? I don't want to get poked. Where's the syringe?
I don't have a syringe.
You're sitting on the cat.
I don't have a syringe, sir.
It's an empty purse with just a needle cap in it. Who uses intravenously?
That I'm not positive which one. I'm not positive. Huh?
Well, there's one under your seat. Do you use intravenously? Just Lou
I think Lou does.
Well, the girl in the back. She's sitting on a bubble.
Yeah, the one bubble was mine, yeah.
Okay.
Now, how did Luana get charged with possession of needles when none of the needles were found in her possession?
Hey, you got track words?
Taking it up as he goes.
I don't have any other questions.
Lies. That's exactly how. Sergeant Willis lied and charged Luana with the needles because he's crooked and incompetent. If you remember a few weeks ago, I posted a video showing that Whitehall officer Brooke Cano was fired after being accused of making an arrest without probable cause and lying on a report. Listen to what Chief Crispin had to say about this topic.
Well, tonight, the chief fired one of his officers for wrongfully arresting a woman, but the police union says she was targeted because she spoke out against the department. 10 TV's Carly Dion explains.
It's the violation of everything we stand for.
Whitehall Police Chief Mike Crispin says the incident happened 2 months ago and resulted in the wrongful arrest and felony charges against an innocent woman.
We realized immediately watching what happened during the arrest and what was reported in the arrest didn't match up, and that initiated an investigation for us. I have zero tolerance for mistreatment of the community, have zero tolerance for lying and integrity issues. Well, if you think what I just said was frivolous, then I guess I would ask them, do you think this is frivolous when you take someone's liberties from them when they didn't do what you said they did? We will make sure our officers do not mistreat the community.
So Sergeant Willis made an arrest without probable cause and lied on his report.
Agreed.
Was he ever disciplined? Was he fired? No, he was promoted. It makes me wonder, if Brooke Cano was a white male, maybe she wouldn't have been fired.
So David Kavanaugh has a update. He said she was allowed to get back pay and retire in good standing.
Hell yeah.
I'm guessing because of
based.
This nonsense.
Mega based. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Shout out to Columbus Police Body Cam here.
Like, subscribed. That's top tier. That's investigative journalism at its finest. This municipal, isn't it?
Whitehall PD might need to get half points.
Yeah. After that one, I'll give them half points. I'm gonna take 30 because it's
they earned it on that one.
Golly. Okay, turkey
There's
video.
a clear pattern of behavior.
No kidding. Is turkey getting smoked?
Go.
So this department got rid of bite dogs, switched to bite turkeys.
Right.
At least then if the turkey gets injured, you can eat it. It's the end of stream. You can play the music. Here we go.
That's
baller. Give him a vest.
Might as well. I guess society.
Like, good boys.
Oh, you know what? I'll allow it under good boys. And then this is.
We watched this one already.
That's right. We did. And that is stream, boys and girls. Oh, I'm feeling super spicy. Thank you for everyone. What was our likes? What do we hit?
They didn't make it, losers. I gave them fair warning. They got to 98.
Dang.
Wow. Take points.
I will take 5.
For failing.
Hire that turkey, I guess, for a mascot. Is that really a good use of taxpayer funds?
Yes.
Teasing.
Better use the entire Whitehall Police
No
Department.
kidding, dude. They just got to burn that thing to the ground.
Special weapons and turkeys. That's amazing. I'm pitting that.
That's too much. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thursday stream will happen without a hitch. At least I will be here. Maybe we get a Keith. Juan, are you making Thursday?
Yeah.
Bill cannot because he is out of town for even himself. So he is busy. Eve updates? One? Updates?
Updates about what?
You know
Updates
what
about what?
You know what about?
Kind of. I haven't been home most of this week or the weekend, so I have edited the Southland episode up to the point where I need to add animations. So that's pretty close. On call's about halfway.
Ooh.
Next rookie episode's about halfway.
Ooh.
We're going back to the end of season 1 into season 2. For all the people that got mad that we skipped.
Yes. Well, there you go.
And if you have anything else that we should watch, put it in the comments.
Have you seen On Call? Okay, hold on. Where's chat?
Timeout.
60. Oh, no, that's too many. That took too many points. I'm just taking 5. Have you heard of On Call? Little Duck.
Okay, there you go.
That's
Yeah.
There you go.
Here we go. You know there's going to be like 3 or 4 more.
I'm going to give them time now. Anyways, if you
yeah.
guys would like to spend more time with us, you can always join the...
I like how they managed to get to 106 and then just lost all the points.
Salmon did it. It's 50.
We do got to watch OG Walker, Texas Ranger.
We really do. Watch your P's and Q's. Anyways, love you all. If you guys would like to, you guys can always join the Discord. You can do that either through becoming a member on YouTube or a member of our Patreon group. And for as little as $1 a month, you can go hang out with us all the time. I'm going to check on the wife, and I will let you guys know if I'm going to do an after party. Until then, I love you all, and I will see you guys on Thursday. So peace. 8-hour Thursday stream. Goodness gracious.